Sure. Why not? Give it a second. It always takes a second. Come on. There we go. Lake of Voices. What do we got for settings? Text speed? Oh, I want it lightning. Transitions, after choices, unseen text. Oh, wait. Skip. After choices, unseen text. Auto forward time, lightning speed. Maybe not too much. Sound. Do I not have to read? Oh, thank God. Alright. I'm usually not a big visual novel person, but, you know, it's a spooky one. We'll try it. Was it history? Oh, dialogue history. Sure. Here are a few details to keep in mind. Certain choices are timed. Time running out isn't something to completely avoid. In some cases, not getting involved can open new possibilities. Other choices aren't timed. These options only determine whether Kika has any special affection for another character or not. Oh God, no. No! If you survive until the second night, the story will branch into one of 5 different plot lines based on your earlier decisions. The other characters cannot manage all situations in the various plot lines regardless of what you do. If a character isn't making it, try getting that plot with a different set of survivors or having the same group of characters venture through some other storyline. Becoming closer to someone can add and or remove future choice options and change how some scenes play out. Your decision to build that connection may not go unnoticed by the other characters. Earning the full amount of affection with certain characters can require getting into specific plot lines. Oh God, what am I about to hop into? This seems more romance than horror. Do I have to read this? I have to read this, don't I? That's why I don't like visual novels. My grip on my lantern tightens as the fog around us thickens. While the forests in this area are relatively safe compared to Sinlos, I can't help but feel my hair stand on end the further we get. Is there an auto button? Oh my God, there is. Please do it. My free hand fingers the hilt of my sword.
Have you seen it before?
Sorry. Either sensing my unease or assuaging?
I haven't. I've had no reason to go near this cursed lake until now. What of you?
Scratches his chin casually as though I asked what his favorite food is.
I traveled the long way around it once before. Not so pleasant. Something about it just frays your nerves. Although, even being near it is enough.
So I'm not the only one who feels it. A sense of relief hits me, but not enough to undo the buzzing of anxiety. The lake, Sinlos. Most try their best to avoid it all their lives. The hundreds who die attempting to cross its unearthly black water, dragged to death by the creatures lurking within.
No wonder you were assigned this mission.
Can I have options? It's actually going a little fast. I'm gonna bring it down just a tad, so I can read. There are a few who've had first-hand experience with the place. Even if from a distance, he'll probably keep being picked whenever they need someone to cross for however long he's with us. Bamil shrugs, bringing my attention back to the dark path before us.
At least we're taking the bridge this time. It'll only take 2 days instead of double that, and the sooner this place is behind us, the better.
It would be preferable not to risk it. But time is of the essence. We don't really have a choice.
One of our allied villages, Himer, is being harassed by brigadiers, a band of ruffians. We don't have many guards to send as an assist, only Bamil and myself. Maybe it's Bamel. The least we can do is arrive before we are too late to be of any use. I love this outfit. I love the stuff. These kinds of squabbles happen often, but have to be put down lest they turn into a blood grudge or all-out war. The last we heard, neither option was that far off.
I can also see why they chose you to come out here.
Oh my God, stop. I glance at Bamil, an eyebrow raised. A slight smile plays across his lips. No!
You're always so calm and so serious. Nothing can get to you. you're the best choice they had.
A smile now tugs at my own lips. I would like to thank him, but that wouldn't be so calm and serious as he just described. And if that's how he sees me, I'd like to keep it that way. How is this horror? How is this a horror game? My lack of reaction only makes his smile grow, and he chuckles a bit before refocusing on the path. I do the same. It wouldn't be right to let my guard down in a place like this. Bamil appears to feel differently, however. With Bamil. Or Bamel. We'll be flip-flopping.
You know the town on the other side of the lake, though? It's not so similar to ours. If all goes well, perhaps we'll have enough time to enjoy the new area.
For the most part, I ignore him, nodding when applicable. Bamil's a talkative sort, and if chatting helps keep his warriors down and sword hand ready, I have no complaints. After a time, the thick fog surrounding us begins to clear. A slick wooden dock comes into view, and with it, sounds of water gently lapping at its sides. I'm gonna be giggling with some of this dialogue. Bamil shifts beside me, stretching his lantern arm as far as it will go. He seems tense.
Someone's already here.
Oh, she's cute. A young woman stands by the dock, eyeing us wearily. Does she intend to cross tonight? You are adorable. I love your shawl. Evidently, she has the same question as we set up next to her. It's clear she isn't simply passing by. She's waiting. The stranger nods curtly to us. Love is horror. Dickens.
Margaret.
Kika the Steadfast.
Bamile. Hello?
Bamile! So sorry, I've been saying your name wrong. There's a stuffy silence. Margaret turns to gaze out across the lake, expression unclear, with not much to say. Bamile, and I do the same. Sir, from here the black surface of the lake looks disarmingly calm. Wind rushes across the surface, a sound like whispering. Though perhaps it actually is whispering. I concentrate, trying to place the difference, searching for breaks in rhythm. After a few seconds, I feel foolish. It doesn't matter what the noise is. Whether I hear them or not, we're not alone. The Nixie are out there. Nixie? Like pixies? A feeling that I can't quite shake tells me they've already noticed the little group of people on their shores. It feels hostile. Wait, Nixie like the merfolk, maybe? My stomach sinks and I instead address
Where is the guide?
I forgot his name.
Unless he's on the center island, or on the complete other side, your guess is as good as mine. It's dark as pitch out there.
Panic rises inside me. Panic I try hard to quell.
We can't cross without him, and we need to get going soon.
You can't cross with him either.
The woman behind us, Margaret, cuts in with something like a snort.
What?
I know the guide will be here tonight. I have already made arrangements with him to cross.
Oh, we fighting. Bamil and I share a look. That woman seems haughty and willing to put up a fuss.
I have his word he'll take me today. It would be wiser for the two of you to begin the trip around if you're really in such a hurry. Or you can make camp here and wait for him to make the trip back if you prefer.
I don't need to turn my attention to Bamil to know he's riled up. I step in before he can say something rash. I just love his sleeves.
Even if that is so, my companion and I must begin the trip tonight.
Margaret's unimpressed and opens her mouth to argue further. Fight.
We'll wait for the guide to arrive before coming to a conclusion about any of this.
She clamps her mouth shut, then lets out a sigh.
You can do as you like.
With the matter tentatively settled, Bamil moves away. His finger begins to tap loudly against the top of his hilt. He shifts from one foot to another, then groans. This is too much.
What's that bastard even up to?
I almost visibly start, but manage to restrain myself. He probably doesn't know any better. I'm not sure of that. It's not worth mentioning.
With a mouth like that, you shouldn't even have the right to ask the guide to take you across.
Oh my god, Margaret, I'm gonna fight you. I just
How
met you.
ludicrous. He's faced far worse than a bit of foul language.
Do you know anything that's happened with this lake?
I know enough.
Margaret is clearly not convinced, but she shrugs and makes a show of turning her back to him.
The guide's father is Garvin the Exemplar. Garvin never accepted the guide as his son, all the way up until he died in this lake. Your statement could be seen as tasteless.
Oh.
Bemamil rubs the back of his neck, his face regretful. Anime moment.
My apologies to the guide. I didn't mean it that way. I never knew about his... well, that.
Smile spreads across my face, one I quickly wipe away. He really did just misspeak. Well, this is a nice calm game. Ah, calmness. You're quiet and forward, Margaret. I'm sure you're forgiven, but say no. My bro. My bro.
I know you. You are brash but not intentionally cruel. I'm sure all is well.
Smiles and claps me on the back.
You're a good woman, Kika. Smart, too. You've never been here, yet you knew more of the guy than I did.
I know about Garvin, truthfully. Tales of his deeds were some of the only stories my parents ever told.
Is that so? You could tell me more about it sometime.
I pause, unsure how to respond to this type of request.
I would like that very much.
Oh my god, he's blushing!
Yes, I wouldn't mind that. It must wait until after this trip, though.
Of course. We should drop this topic sooner rather than later, in any case.
I agree.
Even if there's no harm meant, hearing someone mention Garvin is probably difficult for the guide, no matter what the circumstance. Yeah, your own dad didn't accept you? With the topic dropped, we each remain locked inside our own thoughts, not another word passing between us. Eventually, a small light appears on the bridge ahead, gently swaying through the foggy air. It gets closer and closer until it becomes apparent it's a figure carrying a lantern. Question, why do we need the guide? If there's a bridge, can't we just walk? That must be the guide, although I can't shake the ghostly aura it gives off. It's fog. Hanging out at lunch! Quran! The figure steps onto the shore, but we wait for him to approach us instead of going to meet him. None of us are sure how close to the waters we can get before it's no longer safe. Welcome in, Kral. Hey, Kian. We're playing game number 5, because indie games be short. Oh, he cute. He steps in front of us and simply stares.
Are you the guide of Sinlos?
The man nods. He has a sharp face and weary eyes. I'm sure he's seen so many people die.
Well, that's grand. We would like an escort across the lake.
Bemamil motions to the two of us, and Margaret approaches, a strained smile on her face.
Hello, it's good to see you again. I'm ready to cross, as we've agreed upon.
The guide turns to face her as well, face remaining unchanged. It must not be a lie. He would have had to say something otherwise. She really does have a preference to travel with him. That's a problem. It's a problem. Can you just take all 3 of us? It's a bridge.
Is there a way we can all begin the trip tonight?
Yes, I will allow all 3 of you to go. But with that many, at least one will die before we reach the other side.
I furrow my brow. It's a disturbing addendum, and one offered with little emotion attached. Bemamil glares back, asking without asking what we're supposed to do with such circumstances. Asking without asking.
You should go around.
Nah. Gotta save a town. The sentence hangs in the air, the second half unspoken, if you want to live. Well,
We don't have time for that. There are people counting on us for protection. Why does she need to go?
he jerks a finger at Margaret, whose face contorts with anger.
I don't need to explain myself to you. My journey has already been put off once, and I was promised I could go today. I will be going under any circumstances.
She meets Bemamil's eyes with a gaze of steel. He starts to speak, and she cuts in.
An extra day or 2 shouldn't be that much of a problem for you. Whoever you're meeting can surely wait such a tiny amount longer. Patience is a virtue, after all.
One that you will
The
take.
night is only so long, and if we're still on the bridges when the sun comes up, we'll all die as they sink back below the surface. If you don't decide soon, no one will be going.
What? Wait, the tide rises with your lake? The guide is dispassionate, stoic. I would almost feel something's wrong with him if I didn't share the trait myself. I hope your lunch is good, Crown. Bamil pulls me to the side, jaw clenched tight.
That woman isn't armed.
Oh my god, what? His voice is low. He darts a glance at Margaret. Bamil?
We can easily get her to back off if we make this into an actual fight. After all, we have to go tonight, yes? If one of us really is to die, it'll be her. Would staying be a worse fate than her death?
I stare at the dock, refusing to meet Bamil's eyes and try to keep my voice as level as possible.
We don't know her situation. This isn't a decision we can make for her.
What?
Leans in closer, apparently having missed what I said. I remove the sympathy for her in my response when I speak again. Question.
The guide won't accept something like that, I assume.
His face is grim.
Then what else do you have in mind?
First of all, you and I cannot split up. Either we both stay, or we both go.
Right. That's not a question.
Cross my arms, a hand on my chin. I have full confidence in my abilities and in Bamil's, but there's no reason not to believe the guide knows exactly what he's talking about. One life versus a whole village. If we go, he might not be able to give the group the attention we each deserve. That would mean we truly would be putting Margaret's life at risk on top of our own. I believe we should go. We're going!
And I believe you.
We are going. The village needs us. As firm, my steadfastness seems almost weak in comparison to its certainty as he addresses the guide. We're going. Margaret?
We shouldn't waste more time. Let's shove off.
The guide slowly turns around without even a nod to show his agreement. Margaret stares at Bamil and I, something of a resolve in her gaze. Then she follows after the guide. It's a bridge. I don't understand why we can't all go, but at least she didn't insist we stay behind. Yeah.
We should do what we can to protect her. It's our fault she's being put in even further danger.
Exactly my thoughts.
It's not really our
We will
fault.
take care of everything. Maybe I'm being naive, but I have no intentions of letting anyone fall victim to this lake tonight. Those monsters can starve.
I might die. I smile at him for a change, and Bamil eagerly smiles back.
We're lucky to have each other in this, I think.
Oh my god, stop. Stop! Get away from me. He turns to follow the others across. I will protect everyone on this trip. I will. We'll make it through this. So hopeful. Somebody's dying. Then I step onto the dock and join them. Achievement unlocked. Begin. As soon as I step onto the wood, the temperature drops. The light of my lamp shines against the water surface as reflective as a mirror. Until we reach land again, death is only one small mistake away. We fall in line with the guide leading the way. Margaret stays close to him, and I behind her, watching to make sure she doesn't slip on the slick, wet wood. Bamil brings up the rear. Each of us hold our lanterns in front of us, but it does little good. The fog is thick and nigh impenetrable, consuming the light as if hungry for it. Above the surface of the lake, it's deathly quiet. No longer is there the whispering wind nor the sound of water lapping against the shore. It's just our own mismatched footsteps and the sound of my quickened breathing. God, please stop. My eyes drift back to the lake against my better judgment. It's no wonder there's not even the sound of water with how still the surface is. It seems almost sturdy with the sheen of a black marble floor. Love hurts. Nina's new man is a goner! Maybe my new person. I've heard rumors the water of Sinlos is heavier, more difficult to disturb than natural water, that just the weight of its oppressive cling is enough to keep someone down, even without them. Something even darker than the abyss of the lake flickers just below the surface, or at least I think it does. I turn my gaze to Margaret's back. It's better to stay focused. My new person will be fine, whoever they may
Fall
be.
back a bit. You're following me too closely.
Yeah, back it up, Margaret. The guy is looking over his shoulder, addressing Margaret.
I'm sorry.
If someone gets pulled into the lake, they'll instinctively reach for anything to hold on to. Do not let that be you.
Oh. Margaret's shoulders rise and she nods with great seriousness.
I understand. Thank you for the advice.
I love that she's just... He ignores her gratitude.
You can speak amongst yourselves if you so choose, as long as you pay attention to where you're going. There is no worth in listening to the sounds out there.
Oh?
If there's anything at all, it'll only be Nixie trying to set you on edge.
All right. Then, could you tell us your name? You didn't have a chance to properly introduce yourself, and I've only heard you being referred to as the guide.
I don't have a name.
Oh! He's facing the front again. His voice is expressionless as before. I have no way of guessing how he feels as he says this. Can I give you a name?
Oh.
Can it be? It's probably not something he wishes to talk about. However, there was something else I want to say, so changing the subject is not difficult. Can I call him Baby Girl?
Margaret, thank you for allowing us to join you.
Oh, God. Margaret shrugs non-committedly.
It wasn't exactly up to me. The guide said he would take you.
Margaret, I'm trying to be nice. She hesitates, and then she looks tentatively over her shoulder at me.
But thank you for saying that. It's appreciated.
Ah, you're a words person.
Bemele and I will do our best to be an asset on this trip, rather than a burden.
That's nice. I'm not afraid to be out here, though. Still, at least with your training, you should be able to take care of yourselves.
Bemamil. It's comforting to know that everyone here is so confident in their abilities, not enough to forget how terrible it feels to be over this lake. I'm not sure if that is fortunate or unfortunate. Believing yourself to be secure doesn't mean that you are. Calm down now. As the conversation lulls, a new sound breaks through. It's the whispering noise again. It's the chatter of inhuman voices, and this time, coming from all around us. It's just a breathing whisper.
Taking care of yourself is exactly what you need to do.
The guide is speaking again, except louder, as if to cover the Nixie's voices with his own.
Work to survive at all costs, and hope that everyone around you has enough sense to do the same. That's the only way you'll make it to the other side.
Dear God, what kind of lake is this? Margaret nods in response, but I hear a grunt from behind me.
Groups tend to go further when they work together to achieve the same goal.
He's not wrong. The guy doesn't say anything in response to Bemamil's grumbling either. I'm not sure whether he didn't hear Bemamil or whether he just didn't feel the statements made thus far worthy of addressing. Yo, he said you ain't worth my breath. I have a feeling it's the latter. We go around a large bend in the bridge, part of it forking off to another way. Forking. I wonder how the guide knows which one of these essentially identical paths is correct when something in the corner of my eye catches my attention. What is it?
I believe I saw something over there.
Let's keep moving forward.
Keep walking. No need to worry.
There you go. The guide's voice is calm and level. I decide against pressing the issue, not wanting to set anyone even more on edge. Just follow the guide. You're fine.
What did he say?
Perhaps not wanting the conversation to be caught by the guide, he speaks softly, though I couldn't quite hear him because of it. What? 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 I take my eyes off Margaret ahead for a moment to explain to Bemamil and stop dead in my tracks. Only one word is able to escape me in my stunned state. Oh my God, I see it!
Behind.
Nope. Behind Bemamil stands another figure, looming in the darkness. Seeing my face, Bemamil grabs the hilt of his sword. He whips around, then staggers swiftly backwards. Just don't worry about it. Several meters away, a crooked, twisted black figure hobbles its way towards us. Some kind of liquid drips off its head, curling around the edges of its face. It almost looks like it's crying. We're just gonna follow the guide. Follow the guide. Bemamil backs up until he's standing beside me. The figure continues its slow advance, head jerking from one angle to another. Get back to the guide.
What on earth?
Get back to the guide!
It's one of them.
Oh my God.
Yes, Nixie that stumble across the bridges looking for opportunities.
So that's Nixie. The guide is standing next to us. I didn't even notice him approach.
The ones that can make it out of the water are generally referred to as prowlers.
Bop it.
I had no idea things like that were out here. Is that what Kika saw down the other path?
Bop it. I'm gonna bop it. The guide says nothing, instead returning to the front of the party. Margaret watches him pass. Her frustration morphs into nervous optimism when something seems to come into her mind.
Well, Nixie aren't slowed down much by swords, but at least the light keeps them away, right?
Margaret's hand grips her face tight and desperation bleeds into her voice. I bite the inside of my lip. I mean, the guide's not...
Direct light will force it to return to the lake. However, it'll try to drag the light, or you, down with it before it goes.
My god, just keep walking. Instinctively, I reach for the hilts of my sword, despite the fact that it would do little to protect me. The prowler is getting closer, jerking forward, stopping, then resuming its slow advance. Keep walking!
Okay, does anyone have a light we can leave here? That way it won't follow us.
Only matches.
Oh my god, are we really having this? But Emil spits. He's the one bringing up the rear, so he's the one most likely to be in danger if it keeps following. The guide, however, moves forward. Follow the guide!
Don't forget it's there, don't let your guard down, and don't get left behind.
Simple. Keep going. Simple.
What? How am I supposed to keep walking with this thing at my heels? You said it wants to attack.
It wants opportunities.
Don't give it the chance.
Yeah. Sputters in anger, and the guide summarily ignores him. I solidly grab hold of Bemil's upper arm. Keep walking.
Here, I'll lead you like this, and you can keep your focus solely on the prowler. Make sure it doesn't get too close.
Eyes the guide with unresolved hostility, but allows himself to softly sigh in relief. He gazes at me with fondness. No time for
At
Google
least
eyes.
there's someone I can count on.
All right now, focus on the task at hand. Despite the fact I'm going against his advice, the guide says nothing more. It's clear now that he doesn't give a damn what we end up doing. Some part of me is glad for that. Can we not? Can we move? I want to help everybody make it through, and it'd be worse to have to persuade the guide every time. Help us keep walking. Walk and talk.
Kika, thank you.
Stop it. Let's go. Bemil places a gentle hand on my shoulder. Get that off. Get it off. Oh. I'm supposed to get affection because it unlocks story quests. So let's see. Shoulder, nod, or this and this. I mean, he's the only homeboy I know at the moment. I feel Belmil's start as I reciprocate his touch, but just as quickly a smile replaces his own. The moment is pleasant, a small balm against a large burn. I harden my expression, and Belmil follows suit. He's the only person I know at the moment. He moves his free arm down. I fully link his arm with mine, and now properly settled, look forward. Margaret is following the guy with some reluctance, turning back every so often to check on us. I wave my lantern to signal we're catching up. Yeah, get moving. Margaret returns her head to the front and quickens her pace. With a tug on Bemil, we start to follow them. The four of us continue cautiously over the bridges, only this time the wet, squishing footsteps of the prowler join the sound of our own. In spite of myself, I grip Bemil tighter. The prowler walks without a set pattern, sometimes fast, sometimes slow. It takes long steps, then short ones. At times, it stops walking entirely. Does it hurt to be out of the water like this, or is it trying to be difficult to read? Suddenly, the whisper in the lake grows louder. I steel myself, trying not to let it get to me. Whispering sounds like a piano. The most important thing in a situation like this is to remain calm. I can't lose my head. I know. Then, all at once, I notice the guide and Margaret have come to a halt.
Bemile, they're stopping.
Bemil slows down as I do, and as we near Margaret's back, she says with something akin to distress, "Moist footsteps in the dark?
Another one.
Sounds romantic." No, it doesn't. I tug on Bemil and he understands. We draw up close to Margaret, ready to protect her if need be, but the guide holds out a hand.
Don't get any closer.
Oh? Just over his shoulder, I see another prowler stumbling towards us, white liquid dripping from its eyes. Are you gonna poke it? The guide's hand turns over in the air, palm up.
Give me a lantern. We'll throw it.
Okay. Margaret extends her own with a trembling hand when Bemil speaks instead, his back still turned.
If you have to take someone's, take mine.
No!
Yes, an extra light won't do us much good when we're standing this close together.
Margaret takes Bemil's lantern from him, guarded relief displayed on her features. Damn it, Bemil.
Thank you.
God damn it. She hands the lantern to the guide, whose hand grips it tightly, knuckles growing pale. He plays baseball.
Stay here. I can't throw it too far, or the light will blow out before it reaches the Nyx.
He steps closer to the monster, his movements light and confident. As he nears, the prowler starts to back away. It is only the approaching light that making it retreat, or are they afraid of him? Good question. The guide is far enough away from us that the fog is partially obscuring him, hiding his movements. The voices from the lake grow louder and louder. Water suddenly begins to splash across the lake, in the distance and on the edges of the bridge. I don't like this. They want him to mess up. Then suddenly the guide takes multiple long and fast stride forwards, throws the lantern and jumps backwards to regain the lost distance. There's a sharp hiss and then a deep splash, and the voices of the Nixie grow quieter. Not silent, but quieter. A sigh escapes me, and the guide comes back to our group. We should have just run after him.
We should keep going before it comes back.
Yeah. I glance at Bemil and realizes he too is looking relieved as the guide before us. Relieved at the guide. And then I see it. The first prowler! It's still there! It's right there! Gotcha! I shift around, pulling Bemil behind me. The prowler lunges after him, barely missing Bemil, but striking my lantern instead. The fire goes out and the two of us are plunged into an unearthly darkness. I'm gonna die. Damn it, Bemil! Then there's a slick splash. I realize the Nyx has retreated into the water. Somehow, Bemil and I are still standing. We're still here. We only have 2 lights now, and there's 4 people.
Kika, thank you.
Shh. I can't respond. Something cold, wet, and slimy has grabbed my ankle. Bemil? Kick it off! I kick my leg out as fast as I can, and Nyx slips. It can't pull with the momentum I've got against it. Margaret rushes to my side, her lantern hanging out toward the Nyx. We gotta go. We gotta go. Light brushes its face. We see it for an instant, its eyes wide, and then it slides back into the smooth surface of the water. Bemil grabs Margaret and I both, helping us towards the center of the bridge and cussing under his breath. Aspen.
I only looked away for 1 second.
Yep.
It's fine, Bemele. We're all fine.
Are you actually alright?
Let's keep walking. Margaret cocks her head down, examining my ankle, but there's nothing but a wet smudge around my trousers. Keep walking.
I am fine.
Keep walking. That's all I'm gonna say. I say that, though I don't actually want to let go of Bemil. I need to in order to relight our lantern and provide us actual safety, but I feel such a strong desire not to be alone in this moment. He's right there. You're fine. I shake my head roughly and let go of him, relighting the lantern as fast as I'm able. Okay, we relit it. Good.
Kika, thank you. Again. You saved my life. I won't let this happen again.
Yes. Yes. It would be good for all of us to pay more attention.
Let's go. Margaret nods solemnly. Let's go. Suddenly, it seems like we're all on the same side. It isn't only Bemil and I. She is with us more than simply presence. Where's the guide? Like, we should be following him. The guide's voice, as cold as that monster's grasp, ends my train of thought.
We lost the lantern I threw. A Nyx grabbed it after the light went out.
Margaret makes a noise. I glance over, wondering whether she's upset, but there's a small smile on her face instead.
It's better than them taking anything else.
A little sus. A nervous laugh bubbles up out of me and just as quickly stops. Bemil chuckles in response, and our collective tension eases up, the adrenaline draining from our bodies. Why aren't we moving? Why aren't we moving?
We need to keep walking.
Thank you, guide. Baby girl. The guide starts down the bridge again, and we join him. I try to clamp down on the relief, the ease that wants to flood my head. It's not over. Prowler is gone, but so is Bemil's lantern.
You can stay near me, Bemile, since your lantern is lost.
I appreciate it.
Margaret goes on ahead of us. Bemil stays by my side as I keep at the end of line. Question, why aren't there fences? The breath of release from Margaret and Bemil is quickly swallowed up by the somber atmosphere of Sinlos as well, replaced by the gravity of the near-death experience. Like, if this is a common thing, why aren't there fences? Never mind celebrating his survival, something like that shouldn't have happened in the first place. The memory of the Prowlers reaching out towards us appears each time I close my eyes. Ooh, you already got PTSD, my friend.
Why does it look like something's dripping down their faces?
The Prowlers are on Margaret's mind too. Looking at her pained expression, it's as though the moment of relief never existed at all.
I'm not sure.
Me neither.
Look at how long
Something's
it is.
wrong with them, though. They live in water. Air shouldn't be good for the things, but they want to drown humans so much they're willing to drag themselves around on land? It's not right.
Of course it isn't. They are monsters. They likely do not understand even the concept of right and wrong.
Well, I don't disagree that there's something very wrong about them. I truly hope that's the last we'll see of the Prowlers.
Something comes to her mind, causing Margaret to end her part of the conversation early.
Since you two have to share a light, wouldn't it be safer to be in the middle?
Margaret stops and waits for Bemil and I to reach her position.
That way, you'll catch the edges of my light and the guides, and it won't be so dangerous if Bemile loses his position momentarily.
That's a very kind offer, Margaret.
Good job. Bemil's surprise is so apparent, I want to cover his face with my hands to stop him from insulting her. She merely smirks. I think Margaret may be surprised with herself too. Bemil returns to his usual surety?
As
Charity.
thoughtful as it is, I, at least, am fine with bringing up the rear. I'm used to keeping watch for monsters, and since there are two of us, I can pay attention to the back while Kika focuses ahead. It's
Look
not my light, though, so I shouldn't be the one to decide what she should do with it.
Look how well that went last time. Margaret and Bemil turn to look at me in unison. It seems like it's my decision. We're going in the middle. Neither of them are wrong, as for me my goal is to protect everyone. I can't very well do that with Margaret falling behind us. But being stuck in the middle of the group could also be dangerous depending on what circumstances we come across. Getting pincered by the enemy would be an almost sure death no matter how experienced Bemil and I are. Pincered? I just don't know what to expect from this bridge, and that makes things so much more difficult. I feel like you're telling me I need to go in the back. Current formation has worked. I'd like to move up. Margaret stands slightly off to the side to let us pass, careful not to get too close to the water's edge.
Thank you kindly, Margaret.
Catfee9HT just resubscribed for 12 months. 9aim2 OMG, you guys, I'm so happy to be here. I've missed everyone so much. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. 9aim2
So, I don't want to sound like a child, but how much
get-
longer until we arrive at the halfway point?
And thank you for the resub. Margaret chuckles, reflecting the amusement I don't want to vote. This apparently is a spooky visual novel,
We still
so.
have some ways to go.
But hello, love.
Damn.
I suppress my laughter yet again at his pouting response. The gloom we've been under dissipates slightly, like light flickering through the fog. Is there a pause? There should be a pause.
The first child.
Okay, there's a pause. I should also save. But hi, Cat! Sorry, you know me. I don't like talking during technically cutscenes, but this is a visual novel, so the characters talk all the time. But hello. I've been watching for a bit. I didn't want to interrupt. No, you're good, you're good. Interrupt me, Cat. Interrupt me all the time, because I love you. You can interrupt me all you want. But how are you? This is game number 5. And I don't know how good I'm doing, but we'll be fine. But I just want to give you a little bit of attention.
I like the way you think.
And he grins. Why is he grinning?
think Kika deserves a round of applause. Her quick reflexes are owed the utmost appreciation.
Let's keep walking. He leans softly into my shoulder, trying to get me to what? I don't know, but keep walking.
It was indeed a sight. You're quite capable.
Cat.
Demele was also a sight, but for very different reasons. The way he froze with his mouth all agape was a laugh in itself.
Kisses. Shakes a fist at Margaret in mock anger, then shoots me an affectionate look. You need to stop. There are
You should
monsters.
know, she and I are usually on equal footing.
The only reason you had footing at all is because she pulled you back.
Cat, you don't gotta give opals. Emil laughs self-consciously, scratching his. You don't gotta give opals, but I
That's
appreciate
very
it.
true. You can always count on Kika.
Nah, you good. Oh, wait. Sorry for the noise. No! Interrupt all the time. I don't give a fudge about this game. It's free. You can play it yourself if you want. But attention to you. But look at the new badges. Look at your VIP icon badge, and then your sub badge, and your bit tier badge. Look at them. I would say I worked hard, but I honestly didn't, cause I went to Etsy and bought them from artists who already made them. But enjoy, and congrats on your 1K bits badge. Right, they're so cute, they're cats. I keep my focus on the path ahead of us. Yep. Stop flirting and keep walking, Bemil. Without a response from me, the conversation quickly dies out. Still, it eases my heart to be on such friendly terms with my companions. Huh? Oh, are you talking about the pink becoming the green? Because I didn't want just the static color. I was like, this looks cute. It almost looks like, if someone took, like, I'm coming out of it. But I was like, I want our colors. I want pink and green. Which I realize now is kind of watermelon-y, but it works. It works. Thanks, Kat. I tried to improve the stream while you were gone. So when you come back, you could be like, wow, it's worth the sub. Oh, wow. And then I think you know about the green screen channel points. And then we added a few extra opals. I'm gonna say opals, gotta be careful. Few opal rewards. Like, I think for the ones, there's like 5 different animations, and then I did different levels and tiers, because Dickens decided to be crazy one day.
Bruh.
What up, Elvin? Hello. We're just playing a visual novel spooky game. Nina is always worth this up. Kat, you're gonna make me cry, okay? Stop it. You're gonna make me cry. Greetings all. Heckian. I have to actively stop myself from being distracted by it. How do you do, Elvin? Suddenly I notice the guide seems to be getting further away from us. He's speeding up. Yeah. Maybe we should catch up with him. I do the same to match his pace and end up moving at a light jog.
Guide, why are we going faster?
Enemy spotted.
Of course I remembered your namey. See, there goes Diggins, being sneaky. I glance back. Oh, excuse me. Worried, but Margaret is keeping up with us. The guy keeps moving faster and faster until finally we're at an all-out sprint. Oh my god. You gooders? Hi gooders? Oh, you're asking, am I good? Yes, I'm good. This is just game number 5, and it's a visual novel. I normally don't play visual novels because reading English is second language. Sometimes words I'm like, so. But yes, no, we good. I swallow my rising panic. The guide shouts something, but it's drowned out by the frantic pounding of our footsteps. With witch hats. Right, it has witch hats. I'm not reading, I gotta read. That's goodness. Oh, yes, goodness. Yes, Kat. Every emote comes with a little witch hat because it's October. I am also probably gonna slow down the speed because they're going fast. No, what did I miss? That stops in front of us and simply. Oh, wow, that's the beginning. Blah. The guide keeps moving faster until finally we're at an all-out sprint. Figures in the dark fog fly past us at a blur, and it occurs to me the branching paths in the bridge appear to be sinking. Oh. The guide shouts something, but it's drowned out by the frantic pounding of our footsteps. Goody. English is a 1 of a 3. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's German, English, and then I'm trying to improve my Spanish. And then I know bits of Chamorro and Russian and Japanese, because, you know, Guam. All the languages come there. Oh, and Tagalog. Can't forget Tagalog. Alright. Despite the sudden turn, my reflexes enabled me to keep close behind him. Okay, so we're running. Doing good.
We're making a right!
Sorry. Bellmeal is on my heels, following me to the turn. I glance back once more. Oh, shit, Margaret. Can she run? Margaret, although further behind that than before, also makes the turn. We're all still together. Good, good. Please make it, Margaret. You're actually kind of cool now. As the night wears on, our strength rapidly fades. Oh, no. Even my stamina's being challenged. I can't imagine what this must be like for Margaret. She's crushing it. She's probably like a marathon runner. She's holding her side as she runs, clearly cramping from the exercise. Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. How much longer will this last? People have to rest sometime. You decide to stand around and talk on a sinking bridge. Almost as if in response to my thought, the guide abruptly halts. I skid to a stop as well, sliding on the surface of the wood. When I say bits, I mean like 3 full words. It's bits.
Why did we stop?
Bellmeal's voice is tired, but his guard is up. I want to see more spooky monsters. The guide doesn't answer, just stares at something slightly out of view. I step up to join him, following his gaze further down the path. Is it a monster? Is it a Nixie? Prowler? What is it? Huh? There, curled in a little ball, illuminated by the lantern's light, cowers a person. His hands grip his head and he rocks from side to side, mumbling incoherently. What's up? You want to join our party? I like your bracelet.
It's a man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't. I just couldn't. Please. I'm sorry.
I'm struck with an array of questions. What is going on? Why would he wander out onto these bridges on his own? Did he make it this far by himself? Were there others with him? Questions. This way I have time to read this and this. If that's somehow the case, I can't blame him for the state of shock he's in. Yeah, no. We almost got murdered and we're trained people. The man stops mumbling. He glances above him, seemingly only just now having the strength to lift his head. No worries, Elvin. Take your time. His expression, the deepest sadness, along with the clear markings of terror, are scrawled across his face. Are they cute? I stare at him in shock, but not sure what to do. Turn around.
Leave him.
Ooh! What? I snap my eyes away from the man and instead to the guide's cold, implacable face. Why? Is it a trick? Is this a trick?
No! We can't just leave him here. We've managed fine enough already. And these creatures will probably pluck him away as soon as we've gone.
I'm gonna trust the guy.
Without light, it's certain he'll die.
Guide,
He
explain.
won't make it regardless.
Oh, he's just being cold. The guy turns to look at us, his eyes seemingly to glow from the closeness of his lantern. For the first time, I feel uncomfortable in his presence. Oh, I thought it was like a trick. No, we're taking him with us. Taking him with us.
Whoever shelters him will only risk dragging themselves down with him. Leave him.
Margaret, I have a friend for you. I glance at the others. Bellmeal's outraged, but Margaret is staring at the man with something like fear. She's uneasy, but doesn't voice her concerns. There's only 3 lanterns, and there's 4 of us. I'm trying to think of some kind of compromise when the guide speaks again, his voice cutting. He's cute.
If the man comes, then whoever is shielding him will have to remain at a distance from the rest of the group. Far enough that you can't see me, just my light. That is how you will travel across the bridges.
No! Why? Why?
I didn't agree to lead this man. And I won't. If you ask me to, I will leave you all behind.
Oh no. Oh no. Adrenaline surges through my veins and I tense up. It's a painful reminder that the guide isn't here to save our lives, but merely to show us the way. We're on our own. Oh, crap. He's made it this far. Margaret, Bamil, and I frantically share looks between each other, trying to communicate without words. None of us have a desire to speak and be the first to make a choice. I think I have to leave him. Unless Margaret takes him. Because Margaret has a lantern. Margaret, take him. Oh, they're cute. The man is standing now, though still hunched with his arms wrapped around himself as if expecting a blow. He stares at the ground rather than at us. Because of this, I'm having trouble reading his face. What exactly happened to him? I mean, he made it this far.
Are you...
Wait, how did the guide not see him on the way back? Because he came from the village across the lake to us. So how did he not see this guy? Unless the guy started after the guide and then whatever happened. He glances up, not at me, but towards me, his eyes resting somewhere near my collarbone. Okay.
I'm fine. You all can go on your way. Forget you even saw me here.
Clear my conscience.
That's absurd. You have no way to defend yourself. We can't leave you.
Oh, Bamil.
Yes, I'm sure in your eyes I might not seem like much, but that's not exactly a fair shake.
See, he's fine.
Maybe in a perfect world, every man would be as large as you. But that's not how things always go. Doesn't mean I'm defenseless.
The man's response is meandering. The words themselves seem to be in good jest, but he's still barely looking at us, fidgeting with his hands. Bamil frowns, unimpressed. Those are my options. Either Margaret takes him, or we leave him.
It was a joke.
Oh my god, he's trying to bond. He smiles hesitantly, making eye contact with each of us for the first time. What's your name?
What part of it was supposed to be the joke? Do you even realize what is happening in this moment?
Some people joke when they're scared. Lord knows I do.
Never mind. Forget that too.
Oh my god.
Point is, I'm alright.
Bamil, you're not helping.
You were curled up in a ball when we met.
Margaret, you're not helping either.
Exactly. Something must be wrong with you.
Bamil!
Oh no, sounds like you've been talking with my father.
Sorry. The way he said, oh no, you've been talking with my father, I immediately saw the Pinocchio movie. Father, when will you let me go out on my own? I need to watch that movie. He lets out a weak little laugh coupled with an eyebrow raise, voice trembling. No one really knows what to make of this. Margaret, take him or we leave him. I'd rather not lose the guide. The man gives a small wave and begins down the path we came. Alright. Bye. Bamil huffs, tossing his hands into the air. Nina needs to play Pinocchio.
That's not even the right way.
I don't know if I'd be a good Pinocchio, Because it's like, would I want that Pinocchio? Would I want, the Shrek Pinocchio? I'm wearing ladies' underpants. Nothing happened. It's God, I can't believe that was in a movie. Say a lie. Say something like you're wearing ladies' underpants. I'm wearing ladies' underpants. He is, but no, I'm not. It's a dog. Freaking Gingy. Goddamn Gingy, I love him. All right, let me go back.
It could be if he's trying to get to the side we came from.
Get.
He must have come quite a ways if it was the other shore that he started on.
Yeah, like he made it by himself in the dark, so I think he's fine. The man's smile grows.
Good. That's not so bad.
There's no response to this remark, unsure of what could be said. Don't even know your name yet.
I still think he should come with us. A person needs a light, and the guide himself said he won't be able to manage on his own. Sticking with us is his best option.
I look over the man's body, noting the scrawniness of his limbs. Scrawny, but not necessarily lacking in muscle. The bravado he was showing as he tried to leave us has faded yet again, and now he's standing quietly, looking at us as if watching a play. Oh, look at that, Cat. You called it. I'm telling you, if he comes with us, he's sticking with Margaret. That way it's 2 people per lantern, and not 3. Interest, but no true connection to the events.
It's easy for you to say such things, but whose light are you offering? It's not mine, and you are putting her in even more danger with your own presence already.
The guide speaks the truth. Belmir looks at Margaret. She avoids his gaze.
Perhaps I could have let him share my light before. But the guide has said the one with him has to remain behind, and I simply wouldn't be able to manage it.
Hands turn to fists. He looks away but doesn't say anything. For a moment, no one does. Don't you dare do like a weird lantern position switch where it's like, Margaret comes with me and you take him. I feel a cold sweat on my brow as what I feared comes to pass. He's stopping us from protecting another. Why must he get involved now? Why can he not leave us to make our own decisions? Because he is the guide, and your decisions affect him.
You... Don't worry about me. I'll be on my way now.
Alright, bye. The man's voice is full of something I cannot place, and he starts to shuffle back down the way we came, arms still clenched around himself. He made it halfway. I think he'll be okay. He obviously has some method. Maybe he's a firebender. Margaret might not be able to take him, but there's another way this could be solved. I could stay back with him. Nope. Nope. There's a whole village depending on us. I can't risk one guy for a whole village. I'll put Belmir and myself at significantly more risk, but at least this man will stand a chance. I can't. I'm trusting the guide on this. As horrible as it is. I can't risk it. I'm so sorry. I can't risk it. There's a whole village depending on us. Margaret and Belmir stare at the man as he leaves. We all watch him drag his little frame down the bridge, quickly fading from sight. All right, keep walking. The Nixies could come and get us any second. We had to let him go. We've only been barely surviving so far. Yeah, we almost got our asses handed to us. The space the man vanished into is dark and silent. We can see and hear nothing of him, not even his footsteps. Oh, Cat! Hey, it's a free game. You can save him. You can make your choice.
Maybe we should call him back. We can at least give him directions. Tell him what paths we've been taking.
Margaret, it's too late. You said nothing. You left the decision to me. This is what's happening.
It's not going to make any difference. We can't give directions when the bridges we were on might very well have sunken away.
We shouldn't focus on what might become of him. He has his own path to follow, and we ours. We should focus on what we're doing now.
Okay. Thank you, Cat. I was like, don't worry, you can play the game yourself, it's free. Of course, it's not really a might, but we have to get through this somehow, and being weighed down with guilt will only distract us. I'm doing the whole more lives versus one life here thing. Yeah. The guide starts moving again at a quick pace. Yeah, let's go, because last time he was sprinting. After a moment's hesitation and one last glance into the truly lifeless fog, we run to catch up to him. I'm also gonna save real quick, just 'cause it's been a minute. We walk onwards in silence. Our party hasn't changed, the stranger was never added to it, so it's not as if it makes sense to miss him, but there's a sense of loss all the same. No one even attempts mirth. Mirth? Mirth? Okay, Google. What is the definition of mirth? I said mirth, not mercy. What is the definition of mirth? Amusement, especially as expressed in laughter. His 6-foot frame shook with mirth. What's mirth? Though Bemil constantly looks to want to reach out towards my empty hand, always thinking better of it before doing so. Bemil! Bemile! I keep thinking I should have done more. Should have pushed the guide harder to change his mind so it was less dangerous to keep the man around something, anything. He is a guide. He knows what he's doing. If he says we can't do it, we can't do it. But I have to let this go. I'm not going to forget that man. I'll never forget him. But we still need to get through this. I hope he's not dead. He said he was fine. He cleared my conscience. I curl my hands into fists, hoping it'll strengthen my resolve. Then I push forward. We turn down a different path, and the guide stops. Tony! Oh, look at that little lurk with the witch hat! Ahead of us stands a group of prowlers. At the sound of us, they turn their heads in unison as if they knew we were coming. I inhale. Hecky and Tony. Having a great time. Look away.
Not again.
Maybe we should have taken the man. The prowlers wriggle somehow, their skin moving more slowly than it should, sliding across their skeletons. They laugh. God damn it.
We already lost a lantern and it's only our first day. We can't keep doing this.
Yes, we can't lose a lantern at this point. We're almost to the island.
Ooh, island? There's an island in this lake? The guide rummages through his coat with his free hand. I swear to God, if you have another lantern.
What are you planning?
Tone is borderline threatening, but the guide ignores him. Sounds like a good date. Oh my God, tickets. He pulls out a small pouch, then opens a latch on his lantern. Ooh,
Wait, are you going to throw that at them? What if the bridge sets on fire?
is it phosphorus?
It will. We're going to run.
Oh, shit.
This is insane! These bridges are hellish enough without them also being on fire.
Oh my God.
And what about the other man? If he's still out there, this could...
Let's go, guide. Let's go,
He's
baby girl.
dead. We're not losing another lantern.
I love this man. Let's go, guide. He says with such detached certainty as if he saw it happen himself. No one argues with him. Get your clicking finger ready. Ooh, you know what? Actually, a good point. The guide steps closer to the prowlers. We fall into step behind him, staying close to his back. Good eye, cat. I sometimes get sucked into the story. I forget. He bends his lantern back down until it is lower to his outstretched arm. The pouch in his hand is set aflame. Motherfucker's lighting a bridge on fire. With a practiced flick of the wrist, he swings the staff back and up. The glass on the lantern snaps closed. Oh, he's done this before. How many bridges have you set on fire?
Don't get left behind.
Oh, God. I'm ready. He takes 3 quick steps, then tosses the pouch. Man, the prowlers are back in the water before the pouch even lands. As soon as it does, the fire starts to lick and curl itself around the wood. Honestly, though, it's above a lake. Shouldn't it be, like, super wet, especially if they, like, sink? Nope! The guy breaks into a sprint, and so do the rest of us. The blaze grows despite the heavy dampness from the lake. That's what I was thinking. Let's go. Let's skedaddle. Water can burn. Interesting. These bridges aren't normal bridges. Of course that's true. Nothing here is right. Hopefully they won't collapse with the flames. It's magic. Thank you, Tony. I didn't realize water could burn. We stay on the guide's heels, almost too close for comfort. If he stops abruptly, we'll all crash into one another, maybe even fall off the bridge. He's the one who set the bridge on fire. Maybe it is magic bridges. Then the world tilts. I was mid-stride when I put my foot down. The bridge isn't where it was. It lurches to one side, either because it was weakened or pushed. Oh, God damn it. What's happening? Bevmill and I manage to keep our ground, but Margaret falls to the ground. At least I thought that was what happened. She starts pawing the bridge. Or guess me. She's going meow. Oh, god damn it, Margaret. The guide, having regained his balance, presses on. He doesn't even bother to look at her. Oh no. I'm afraid to look away. Bevmill and I run to Margaret, scanning the bridge, but there's no sign of her glasses. Go. We gotta go. The bridge is on fire. The guide is running. We have... The flames are growing thicker and closer. The heat life sucking close enough to nip at our heels. I grab Margaret's arm. Oh my god, let's go.
Your glasses aren't here anymore. We have to go or we'll lose the guide.
I'm sorry, that pause had me scared. Margaret squints up at me, face paler than before. She nods and stands, and we start after the guide again. Diggins, you're not helping with that fire emote. As our storm of feet thunder across the boards, a silver sliver begins to rise into view just above the edge of the water. Is that the island?
It's the island.
Oh my god, Bevmill! Crazy! The island! I squint and suddenly make out the craggy forms of land and earth. Dickens! Just, ah! This is me running. I see it! We're almost there! This is me dramatically running. Safety at long last in sight. New energy surges through me. We push ourselves faster, longing to put these godforsaken bridges behind our backs. Fire. All the fire emotes. All at once, the bridges end, and our entire group rushes ashore. Earth. Solid earth. A haven from the water. Okay, no more fire. Fire's gone. I catch my breath while still moving even further away from the dark shoreline. One second. I can't believe we actually made it. Even more difficult is the idea that we were only halfway done. When night falls, once more, we have to do it all again. Why can't we do it during the daytime? A heavy arm falls across my shoulders, and I straighten to see Bevmill smiling wearily at me. That's crazy, right?
Good work out there.
No marshmallows? We have to go back. Exactly. It's not the usual commendation of a job well done. There's sadness, perhaps even sympathy in the sentence. It ends flatly. I don't think we can go back, Diggins. I think the bridges are gone. In the village, we'll pick up some. With a sigh, he leans his head to the side, having it rest slightly against mine. Oh, a moment. Oh, hello. Usually Bevmill's comfort and good nature gives me at least the urge to smile, but right now it feels like a hollow victory. We almost burned to death. Margaret's blind, and somebody might be burning to death on the bridge. He moves to face Margaret, who is squinting at the surrounding area. You got an extra pair of glasses?
Good work out there.
This statement is more energetic. He's not willingly enough to show a lack of confidence in front of her. Margaret smiles slightly. Smiling? What's that? It's a good question, Tony.
How are you doing without your glasses?
It sucks, honestly.
Oh, I'll manage. I have to, after all. I'm not completely blind, thankfully, so I can muddle my way through.
Like, are they vision glasses or reading glasses?
There isn't anything much to see out on those bridges. As long as you stay away from the edge, you should be as safe as you were before.
That's true. It will be fine.
You know, I just had a thought. All the bridges got set on fire, right? So that means the man who walked away from us, minus the fact that he might be burning alive, in theory, he has a lantern. A big-ass lantern. So if he were to just run as it's on fire, he would see the path, and maybe he made it. And then the guide is there. He moves so smoothly that his steps on the soft sand are nearly silent, and his dusky clothes blend with the thinning of the night. Calling him baby girl, because they're precious. Also, I'd kill for those
The
eyelashes.
sun will rise soon. The fire on the bridge is the only reason this island isn't overrun with prowlers right now. However, they could still pose a threat.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Is that why you decided to set the bridges on fire? To make the island safer?
No, it was to fight the 3 prowlers in front of us, Margaret! The guy looks at Margaret for what I suddenly realize might be only the 2nd or 3rd time all night.
Setting the bridges alight isn't an uncommon strategy. It has many uses.
How many bridges have you set on fire? He walks away, Margaret frowning at his retreating form. How many bridges? Oh, I'm sorry. Did the voice actor not want to say come? Just come. The guide takes us to an area a bit further inland, but not too far away. Trees partially obscure our location, and there's enough room to watch the coast in case prowlers start to emerge from the water. It's magic. It's magic. It's magic bridges. Essentially, it's a place where an ambush would be hard. I'm guessing he does, Tony, and
If any of you see anything at all, speak up. We don't want them to sneak up on us.
That's a good one, Tony. Sorry, that was a good one. Almost automatically, each member of the group turns to a different direction. For a brief second, I feel a flicker of pride. This night may have been awash with misery, but we're still here for each other. Maybe we got a sucky guide. Bridgest. Nah, he's the only guide. That's the thing, he's the only guide for this lake. As the sky continues to fade from pale purple to a muted blue, the water stays silent. For the first time, nothing happens. It's a miracle. Suddenly, my chest is lighter and the air is fresher. Or so he says. So the town says. The first pricks of light appear over the horizon, stinging my eyes after such a long journey through darkness. It had lanterns. A bridge's guide. The guide is opening the latch on his lantern again. He gently, almost respectfully, blows out the light. Disrespectfully blow out that light.
We no longer have to worry about the Nixie. It is over for today.
Disrespect her surroundings. I'm almost unable to keep tears of relief from pouring out at those words. We made it through the night. We survived. No one feels the need to speak. We look at each other, and understanding passes between us. Where do I shit? Where's the bathroom? Then we find our own space, as comfortable as we can get, and lie down for the rest. We weren't sure we would ever come. I'm being silly now, sorry. Where do they poop? It's my question. Do they just poop in the lake? No, they got Nixies. My eyes slowly blink open and readjust to the brightness, what little there is. The sun is obscured by a thick layer of fog, making it impossible to estimate the time of day. I wonder if people just pooped in lakes back in the day, or if they were like, no, this is drinking water. I prop up my elbows and push myself up. The ground is hard and rocky, but that isn't the only reason I am eager to get on my feet. It's a big-ass lake if it takes 2 days to cross by foot. I check my surroundings. The harsh, craggy earth of the island is interlaced with twisting vines and gnarled branches. Was that there when we first got here? That seems sus. Beside me, Bevamil and Margaret are still fast asleep. Boop his nose. Just boop it. The guide, however, is nowhere to be seen. I realize that I don't recall seeing him lay down with everyone. It's likely he left us hours ago. Drinking water, sips mug of vodka. There is a creeping silence here. Nah, he wouldn't leave us. I can't help but shudder at the hollow, aching feeling inside me. It refuses to relent. I shift my weight back and forth, unsure of what to do with myself. He's a ghost. Memories of last night's harrowing journey flicker through my mind. I'm trying to not cry on my makeup. Emily awakes suddenly, rising with alarm and startling Margaret awake as well. Can you tell me we were in a platonic cuddle pile? My mouth opens, then shuts, and after a moment of fumbling, a word finally escapes. Oh, don't ruin the makeup.
Hello.
Bevamil gives me a gentle smile and makes his way over to me. Margaret follows suit. Ooh. Throuple. Here for it.
Morning.
Again, love your outfit.
Is it even morning anymore?
It's time to stop!
Dickens!
It's time to stop, okay? No more! Where the fuck are your parents? Who are your parents? I'm gonna call Child Protective Services. It's time to stop!
Pocket of quiet
We
descends
should
over
eat
us.
something soon. Margaret, do you have enough supplies?
Yes, I think I'll be alright with what I have.
Thank you for the opal, Dickens.
That's
I
a
got you.
relief. The two of us have plenty of rations, though, so if you need anything, you can always ask.
Margaret sighs and presses her fingers to her temples, acting as if she's fed up with us. I don't think anyone's gonna take your
The
take
two
your
of
spot.
you need to stop looking out for everyone else so much.
Oh, she's falling for us. Do it, Margaret. Belmil winces at the statement without vocalizing what's on his mind. I know we're great. Margaret and I share a glance. This is about the person we left behind yesterday. The person we didn't help. But yeah, I don't think anyone's taking your opal spot, Dickens. I think you're good for this month. No one will come close.
I'm sorry, I didn't intend.
It's not your fault.
You just can't fight, and that's why we didn't pick him up. It goes quiet between us once more. A distinct rustling of the leaves all around catches my attention. The guide appears, emerging from the thicket. Oh. What up, baby girl? Margaret appears to be a little uncomfortable at his return. Bevmil glares at him as he makes his way over. Sorry, his eyelashes. I got sucked into staring at
The
them.
Nixie will not tread on land in daylight. However, being near the shoreline is still dangerous. If you leave the center of the island, remain cautious.
Okay.
Before the sun sets, I will be in this area. It would be wise to meet me here before nightfall.
Why did we have to leave him behind?
Bevmil. I sharply turn towards Bevmil as he snarls and confronts the guide. He is guiding us free of charge. Maybe don't yell at the man.
If you would just let him follow behind us, he would be alive.
Fire bridge. The guide looks away, seemingly unaffected.
If all you're going to do is leave everyone to be lost, then why bother guiding us at all?
Valid point. Despite Bevmil's severe words, the guide abruptly considers his piece here finished. He turns towards the forested area from which he came. Ah.
Wait,
No, yell at everyone, disrespect your surroundings. Bevmil calls out to the guide, reaching towards him. Before he can make contact, I quickly place a hand on his shoulder. Wait, Bevmil. He lowers his arm to his side, though I can still feel wrath emanating from him. My goodness, Tony, let's go. We stay this way until the guide disappears from view. It's a very lot of physical contact here. Bevmil begins to kick at the ground, spraying tiny pieces of gravel about. Disrespect your
Bemali,
surroundings.
I know you're angry, but regardless of our feelings, we need the guide. If he leaves us, we'll all die.
So don't piss him off.
and we've done so well with him.
We're alive and we're here. We are on track to the village to save it. I give him a cold glance. We won't even know which bridge to take without the guide. Everyone knows that. This needs to stop. There are a lot of people counting us to make it back, and what of Margaret? What about sweet Margaret? She's blind now. Quit your shit.
We can't afford to lose our way.
Kika speaks wise words. The anger etched into his expression fades into sadness. Yeah. The whole village depending on us.
You're right, Kika. You're right.
Oh, beautiful words. Music to my ears. He weakly swats his hand in front of his face as if trying to shoo away his racing thoughts. Oh, I do that all the time. I do with the compliments. I'll whack him out. Bap, bap.
I can't stay here right now.
I nod, allowing him to leave alone. Oh, someone did call me. Besides me, Margaret releases a sigh.
Are you all right?
No, I'm not. Nothing is all right. And it will never get any better.
Margaret sucks in a breath as she starts to get emotional. Before it can spill out of her, she turns on her heels and walks off in a direction different than the guides. The humans were the real monsters? We'll find out, Kat. We'll find out at the end of this. Honestly, I'm curious where this is gonna go. Quietly, I speak. I need to be alone. I have to see Bamil. I'm gonna speak with the guide. Friendship points? Guide. Friendship? Guide. Friendship. Lingering for only a moment, I start following the trail Bamil took. Well, he did say he needed to be alone. Sorry, I didn't mean to pocket dial you. Wait, did you actually pocket dial me? It doesn't take him long to notice I'm there, and he slows his pace so I can easily catch up. We fall into step for a short while, neither of us speaking. Eventually, we come to a thick stand of trees and wordlessly weave our way through the branches. Oh, sweet, it's a harlequin. I saw the puppers. Once we've hidden by the foliage, Bamil leans against a tree trunk, head hung low. Wait, tree trunk and low. Negativity radiates off of him, but I don't know what I should say. Fortunately, he breaks the silence.
I apologize for back there.
I nod firmly. His reply isn't unexpected. For as long as I've known Bamil, he has had a tendency to let his temper flare, then regret it later, after processing his thoughts. Stop being a jerk. I'm trying to see
I know
who
that
called me.
dealing with these sorts of situations calmly is part of the job. But I cannot tell myself everything is fine or that none of it matters. Sure, I can feel something without it being anger, but I've not figured that out either.
Rather than speak, I try to listen as supportively as I can while Bamil continues to argue with himself. He sighs while pensively rubbing the bridge of his nose.
Am I simply being foolish? Would it really have been so harmful to try and help someone else instead of focusing solely on oneself? It looks to me like we're telling ourselves these lines to avoid responsibility.
I don't know. It's possible you helping would have worked better. It's also possible it would have been worse.
Bamil stares across the empty waters of Simos. Sorry, I'm reading the text message, and they're like, sincerely and truly appreciate, thank you for the precious memories of the photos. I will cherish in my heart for making our family cemetery count. And I'm like, stop it!
I want it to be clear that I have not forgotten that those people across this lake are depending upon us. Not for a moment. But would they want us to be so focused on them that we should turn a blind eye to others right in front of us?
Kinda, yeah.
Even if they would, does that matter? We are more than weapons. We are people. Do we have to cast that aside, turn away from our fellow humans, just to achieve a so-called greater good?
Yes.
It is not as though this village is a haven of saints. They are only as worthwhile as we are, and these people on the bridges with us, aren't they?
I'm doing more quantity versus quality.
I don't know.
Quantity. I could feel the weight of his words settle upon me. I've had similar thoughts and have questioned what the correct choice is, but unlike Bamil, I have always been silent. I clenched my fist tight to try and stop from saying something rash. Like, in this moment, quantity. Hi, Blondie. Bevermeal closes his eyes tight and rubs his face again. It is clear this hasn't been enough to give him much peace. Hi, Blondie. Get sleep in your eye. Eventually, his eyes reopen and look directly into mine. You're not gonna like my answer.
What do you think about all this, Kika?
You're not gonna like it.
Please, be honest with me.
You're not gonna like
I
it.
want to hear it.
Blondie Cat says hi. Suddenly, my eyes are hot. My vision blurs slightly from tears I desperately am trying to hold back.
I really don't know. That is the truth.
I have hot eyes. My words are soft. Whether he heard or not, the look on my face is enough to garner attention. His eyebrows shoot up in surprise. We're having an emotional talk on this death lake. Hi, baby. He walks over to me slowly, concerned. Oh. Going in for a hug?
What is troubling you?
I don't have the answers to what you were wondering. Who are we meant to protect? Everyone we can? Whoever we're told to serve and no one else? Just ourselves? Should we only try to protect others when the risk is minimal? I have no idea what the right option is.
Valid answer, valid answer. Belmeal's confusion only mounts with my words. Greater good
I
does
am
some,
sorry for disappointing you.
especially when some hold a bright future back. That's fascism.
No, you haven't disappointed me in any way. I never should have expected someone else to give me answers to those kinds of questions.
Yeah, that's like you answer yourself kind of question. You find your own
It is
answer.
only... I did not think that...
He does not finish his thought, but I know what he meant to say. Just gonna hold her paw.
You did not think I was concerned with these issues?
Oh. Are you doing the trick? Blondie, are you doing the trick? Can you come up? Can you come up? Up, up? Oh, no, not that up. Can you come up? I swear, you do it when I'm at work, but you don't do it when I'm streaming. Come on, up, up. There's a good girl. There's a good girl. Stay, stay, stay. Oh, they can't see you. She got her little paws on my legs. Hold on. No, stay, 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 stay. Up, up. Up, up. Come on, up, up. Up, up. Up, up. Goober. All right, let's get back to this. Oh. Yes, look at that beautiful sit. Yes. Oh, look at that. You're like a big old parrot. He's a baby girl. You just want your chest rubbed. You just want your chest rubbed. All right, I can go back. Put your paw down. Paw down. Thank you. She's so precious. I love her. It's never needed. Oh, Blondie, kiss. You want a kiss? No, not that. No, not this. Let it. This is let it go. Let it go. Thank you. No, not pocket. Not kiss. Thank you. Good kid. Good girl. All right, paws down. Paws down. This is the Blondie. This is how she be cute. But it might be the needed answer. If it gets the good ones to answer they want, I say that as be included in the X. But yeah, there you go. That's the Blondie. And that's kind of what I do sometimes while I'm at work. She'll just put her paws on my armrest for my chair and she'll pull it. So I'll just be like, so it's very, very fun. He smiles awkwardly over being caught. I wasn't reading. I got distracted by a cute dog.
Yes. You never seem to be bothered by anything we experienced before now.
Thank you, Cat. Cass is outside. I'll give her a kiss later. With his words, my carefully held resolve crumbles. In an instant, my cheeks are wet with hot fluid, cooling in the chill air as it slips down my face. Those are called tears. You're crying.
I have always cared. I've always been afraid and confused, but I have kept up a...
Big old brave front. I stop and gasp for air, my throat almost as tight as when we were running on the bridges. Ooh, our fight or flight response is kicked in. Nice. We're having the
A
emotions.
farce of strength in order to get by.
All right, I need Myron back. Thank you. I breathe deeply with relief, terrified and lightheaded from my confession. Oh, excuse me. Emil's voice is as delicate as flower petals. I'm so sorry, I burped before that.
I had no idea. How could I not have noticed?
Because I'm an expert at hiding myself.
Because I did whatever I could to make sure no one did. I have never wished to appear weak in front of others. But the truth is, I barely get through each day. I often feel overwhelmed with sadness at all that we have experienced.
Oh my god, Kika, same. Emil gently places his hands on my shoulders as I try not to sob wildly.
Kika, I truly apologize for all the thoughtless things I have said to you.
Now you're fine, Emil. I shake my head, sniffling.
There is no need for you to apologize.
He smiles, the warmth almost enough to make me forget the damp.
I beg to differ. I have failed to treat you right.
Oh my god, stop.
You have always been respectful.
A person needs more than respect from their comrades. They also need support. I have never given you that kind of consideration because I believed someone like you did not need it.
Go off.
The same could be said for me.
Nonsense. You have listened to my rambling on more occasions than I can remember. Though I admit my memories may not be there due to being drunk many of those times.
Emil laughs at himself while glancing in my direction to encourage me to do the same. His comforting words make me smile, and I feel my tears finally cease to fall. It's like, yes, let's do this. Let's talk about our feelings. Then I will continue to support you. I'm gonna support you. He grins wider than he has since we began this horrible journey. Look at those cheeks, he'd be blushing.
You have my thanks.
You're welcome. Don't die.
And you have mine.
I swear, if you die... Hi, Blondie. Hello. Abruptly, his expression becomes serious once more as I'm pulled off to the side by Blondie, demanding
I will come
love.
to answer these questions someday. But no matter what I decide, I will still put trust in your judgment.
Okay, thank you. Need this back. I fear I may not live up to the belief he seems to have in me, but I nod firmly. He returns my nod.
Perhaps we should go check how everything is on the island.
That sounds like an excellent idea. And I will accompany you, of course.
Of course.
Glad to hear it.
Together, we walk back towards the interior of the island. Both our moods lift as we stay side by side. Belmil and I head through the wooded part of the island. There isn't anything that could be called a path, but we managed to pick our way through the bush quite well. Looking at birthday wishes for my father. There are thinner sand trees briefly cut sight of the guide standing on one of the beaches. He seems fine, though I'm sure he turned his head towards me. He makes no show of acknowledging us. Continuing on, Bemil and I cross the island in search of Margaret. Out of nowhere, a shudder runs down my spine, and I barely stop myself from checking behind me. Darkness flickers through my mind as I hold my breath. A pat on my back brings me back in the light, a reminder that I am not alone. I look up to see Bemamil, his touch more comforting than words could be. Suddenly, I do not need to hide my emotions. There is no reason to act as though nothing is wrong when it is. Bemamil already knows. I have hidden my emotions for so long that it's still my first instinct, but somehow I sense an assurance from him. Bemamil will be there to remind me that it is okay, and to support me when I feel I might break from the weight of our experiences. Ah yes, experiencing emotions after years of suppression can be quite draining. can be an experience unto itself. I give Bemamil a hesitant glance. He notices and returns my gaze. Staring into my eyes. I feel the words spill out from my mouth before I realize what I'm saying.
Would you like to take a walk with me?
Oh my god. I take a moment to part some brush out of my path before explaining myself.
We could pass around the edges of the forest where there's less in the way. There doesn't need to be a purpose to the walk. It only needs to be a way to spend time together.
Oh my god, Kika?
I would prefer that to not doing anything.
Oh my god, Kika?
I would be delighted to accompany you, Kika.
Oh, I'm so proud of you, Kika. I'm gladdened by his response, though it only makes me feel all the sillier for suggesting it. Wanna go on a walk with me?
Perhaps it may be better not to, after all. We'll be walking all throughout the night.
I don't know, but we have to worry about monsters. This is relaxation time.
I believe I've spent quite enough time resting. If I'm being honest, I think I need a break from all this waiting around.
Oh my god, see, this is cute. This is cute and wholesome. I'm gonna just walk. My lips curl into a smile.
All right. We'll do that then.
After we speak to Margaret.
Of course. That's our first priority.
She can wait.
Thank you, Bemele.
She's not coming with us. I'm trying to earn friendship points here. Bemamil moves a little closer to me.
I'm happy to.
Check the box. Do you like me? Check the box. I'm not sure if it'll be much help, but there's no way I'm leaving Margaret all alone here for longer. She may want someone to talk to. Right? Do you like me? Yes or no? I have, in a joking manner, it takes longer than I had hoped to track through the brambles, but we find her decent enough. I have jokingly circled or and given it back. Margaret begrudgingly lifts her head as we approach, enabling me to see that her face is damp and tear-stained, while her eyes are red and puffy. She's been crying. I shift uncomfortably on my feet. Oh, Margaret, I'm trying to... Friendship.
Is something the matter?
What's up? Margaret releases a humorless laugh.
I take it the guards are doing their rounds.
Is that a joke? Or an insult? Bemamil and I each steal a glance at one another. Bemamil slightly chuckles. Okay, it's a joke. I was like, is it making fun of me?
It seems we are. Old habits die hard.
Margaret.
Well,
Oh, poor Margaret.
That's nice.
She speaks somewhat curtly, but at least she no longer seems as depressed. I would say as sad. Not depressed.
I'm happy to report that everything's in order on this front.
You sure? You're crying.
Good to hear that.
Bemamil, she's crying. She's not good. Margaret isn't saying what's actually on her mind, but I have no way to reach her. Trauma.
Is that everything?
Oh, okay. That's one of those. Bemamil scratches his chin.
We can leave you for now if that's what you'd like. Wouldn't want to be a nuisance.
Extending olive branch. Do you want us to stay? Do you want us to go?
That would be most appreciated. I'd like to have a little time to myself before we return back out there.
Okay. Goodbye.
We'll be around
Sorry,
if
let me try that
anything
again.
comes up.
Goodbye.
Thank you for that and for stopping by.
You're welcome, Margaret. might have to sacrifice you. I smile at her. Bemil gives
Be
a
well.
wave.
Goodbye.
I want his shirt. The two of us leave Margaret, as per her request. You tell me to leave you alone, I'm gonna leave you alone. I swallow thickly as we go. I can only hope that Margaret will be able to sort through her thoughts before it's too late. Swallow thickly. Oh, you have like a big lump in your throat. Hi. Bemil lightly squeezes my hand, guarding my attention. We're hand holding? Okay.
So, would you still be interested in our little stroll?
Oh my god, yes. We're holding hands the whole time?
Yes. That would be nice.
Oh my god, we're holding hands. Bemil beams at me. Bemilly beam.
We best be heading out then.
Bemilly beam! Bemilly pointedly tightens his grip on my hand, despite already holding my attention. I return his squeeze. A bashful expression washes over him, though it's not enough to make him let go. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. We reach the edge where the shore meets the forest and trek along it. Oh my god, this is so cute! A monster's gonna come out and stab us. I'm sensing this is too cute. Bemil makes small talk on just about anything and everything. Reminds me of our journey before we reached the lake. The more I dwell on it, though, the more I realize how drastically things have changed in a matter of days. You neglected Death's embrace. You will pay for that at some point. Never! He'll have to come and get me myself. He'll have to come get me himself. Bemil's discourse forms a mirror from one time to another in my mind, casting all that has changed in glaring silver. We're holding hands. He swings our hands back and forth slightly as he continues to lead the conversation, trying not to let me become too absorbed in my troubled musings. Right? Kika's in love. Exactly right, Cat. That's why I'm waiting for, like, a monster to come out. After winding our way around a large stretch of the island, a massively overgrown tree intersects our paths. We're just walking. I move to push the offending branches out of the way, but Bemil stops me. Why are you stopping me?
Please, let me handle this.
It's a branch. I can push a branch. I let my arm fall as I watch him. Oh, he unsheaths his sword and chops the branches down with a single blow. I didn't realize you had a machete. It's a long sword. He releases a hearty laugh and I grin at him. The sheer audacity of the action enabling me to ignore his sword misuse. Okay, cool. I'm not the only one that was like, wait a minute.
It's been far too long since I've taken it out. At this rate, I'll forget how to even use a sword before we arrive.
Language. Phrasing. Language.
I see.
Don't I see him. I unsheath my own sword and level the honed edge at him. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. What's happening?
Would you be up for a bout of sparring?
Oh my god. We're about to fight. These are two drastically different swords. Is that a rapier? Rapier? He doesn't miss a beat. Oh, we're fighting.
I'll accept that.
Here we go. You're wasting energy. I step onto the sand to give us a little space, and Bemil eagerly trails behind me. Remember to keep away from the water. Let me show you how to use a sword, my guy. Oh my god, stop. What is this enemy? Once we find our footings, Bemil assumes a defensive stance, center turned away from me and sword drawn in front of his body. Do I need a sword? Take Guam. I do the same as I circle him swiftly, being sure to stay just out of his striking distance as I watch for the slightest tail of an opening. I'm waiting for the monster to come and stab one of us. We're too close to the water. The sun is setting. Whenever he attempts to put some space between us, I dart in towards his back, forcing him to stay mostly in place to defend. I'm waiting for the turn. It takes 3 sharp jabs before what I was hoping for happens. As he turns to face me, one of his feet lands slightly out of place in the loose sand, and I take my opening, striking immediately. Boop his face. Boop him right in the face. Hold on. Be dramatic. Bemil regains his balance just before I make contact, though, parrying and using his heavier frame to force me back a few steps, even as I jump out from the sword lock. I don't know what's happening. We're fighting, that's what's happening. What is touching me? hoping to catch me off balance from his push as he strikes, but I weave out of the way. This is how Nina fights. Bemamil has more strength and a larger striking distance than I do, so I've learned to capitalize on my higher agility and smaller hit zone when facing him, even if I usually prefer a more guarded strategy. Whoa! Damn, this is a long fight. We trade blows, neither of us ever scoring a hit, but both keeping each other on edge. For a little while, time flows past us easily, and there is nothing that matters, but avoiding an attack that'll never be lethal. Gritting as our steel clashes. They're gonna kiss at the end of this, I can tell it. Shaw, building that tension, getting all hot and sweaty. Oh, tension. Noticing my labored breathing, I call off the fight. I'm done. I'm done fighting.
Stop. We can't exert all our energy here.
Oh my god, smart decision. Bemamil releases a winded chuckle. I don't know what a wind.
Thank God there's at least one of us responsible enough to point that out.
Pointed out at the very beginning, but that's just me. Monster. I smile and return my sword to its scabbard. We have to save some for bed. Cat. Bemamil does likewise and glances over at me. Oh my god, cat!
Would it perhaps be all right to at least finish our stroll before sitting back down again?
Give me that hand.
We shouldn't go the entire length of the island, but I suppose we can walk just a little longer.
Oh my god, we're gonna die.
It's a deal.
Aww. Yeah, walk closer. I allow myself to drift closer to Bemamil. There's not too much space between us as we walk side by side. Be funny if he's like, there's a whole island? Can you back up? Bemamil views me from the corner of his eye and looks more than pleased. Corner. For a brief moment, all of the troublesome circumstances seem to float away from our minds and we enjoy each other's company. Wait, achievement unlocked. Comfort. Comfort? See my comfort, friend? I wish it could go on for so much longer, but it's only a little while later that I have to speak up. I think I read that wrong.
We really should rest before nightfall.
Yes, we gotta walk through the night.
I'm fine with that idea.
Bemamil leads us over to the area where the guide mentioned we were going to meet. He lowers himself down onto the ground and stretches out right there, presumably intending to wait until the guide arrives. He's a straight-up cat. That's a little more dramatic of resting than I had planned. Wait, did I miss something? I zoned out imagining a cat man. Sorry. Oh yeah, no. Okay, it's the same. Well, we're here. We might as well do a little savey save just in case something... Like, maybe I clicked the wrong button. Maybe I get Bemamil killed. It isn't very long until Margaret appears. Hi, Margaret. We're all sweaty. She doesn't comment on our resting positions. However, she's clearly smirking about it. There's no tents. We gotta rest somewhere.
Hello, Margaret.
Are you still holding up fine?
I would rather speak of anything other than that.
So she's doing great.
I think we can manage that.
God, I love his hair. The three of us quietly wait for the guide's arrival, occasionally chatting with one another as we rest. So what'd you guys do? We fought on the beach. He kicked my ass. What else to do? I then used it to cut some trees. The sky turns orange as sunset comes upon us. What up, baby girl? As the color seems to drain from the world, being consumed by the fog, the guide makes his appearance. Oh, it's a little crooked. Boop.
It's almost time.
I nod and feel myself grow tense. We truly are about to return to those bridges. I'm ready. All of us wait in an uncomfortable silence until night falls. I love his outfit so much. We silently stand as one, forming a vigil of sorts. Our remaining lanterns illuminate the dark, prepared for tonight's journey. I think once we get to town, we're good. I think. And yet, the way forward does not appear. The bridges haven't risen from the depths. Maybe because we burned them. I glance to my side. The guide doesn't look at all pleased. The corners of his mouth have a harsh bent as he briefly loses himself to heavy thoughts. Are they magic bridges?
We must go to the shore.
Oh. Okay. He doesn't offer an explanation for why. Instead, he goes on without us. I follow after the guide, my forehead creasing with swelling worry. Swelling worry. Swelling. How do I do swelling worry? Behind me, I hear Bemil and Margaret's unsure footsteps. The four of us press onto the shore. The dark waters lap at the edges of the sand, and as expected, the maze is still hidden beneath the surface. Oh my god, are you gonna just start walking on it? Don't do it. Honestly, be smart though, but don't do it. But at the same time, be very dumb. The guide grips his staff tighter still, his knuckles turning ghostly white. He sucks in a breath of air like he's about to speak, but he hesitates. We all stare at him expectantly. What wisdom? After a moment more, the guide is fed up with waiting. Oh my god, he's just gonna walk on these bridges while they're still submerged, aren't they?
The bridges are late. If they don't arrive as soon as darkness falls, there's no telling exactly how long it will be before they do.
Okay. The bridges are late! That's Bemil's face immediately sours and he isn't able to stay silent about his feelings. Bemil?
So we're going to waste our time standing idly by. There's hardly enough time to make the trip as it is.
Bemil, let him finish talking.
Complaining won't make these bridges come any sooner, though I sympathize with your frustrations. The wait had already been tense as it was. Not knowing how much longer it will last makes it that much more dreadful.
Time is by far the least of our worries. On the bridges we are constantly moving, which makes it easier to avoid the prowlers. However, this island does not offer that luxury. We're trapped here.
He's got a point. My body goes rigid as his words sink in.
More importantly, the bridges are raised above the waters. Nixie have difficulties pulling themselves up onto the bridges. The soft sloping of the shore will allow far more prowlers to drag themselves towards us.
When you say it like that.
Not all will be as dangerous as the ones we've encountered thus far. However, we could easily be overwhelmed.
A pit forms deep in my stomach. I stare at him, aghast. I had no idea the situation was that dire. I glance from the waterline to the trees. What I'm looking for, I don't know. A sign of what might come? What might be to come, perhaps?
I wonder if those fires had anything to do with this.
Belmil's words are biting as he wonders aloud. The guide answers Belmil firmly, wanting to put an end to the speculation.
No. Whatever magic controlling the bridges is inconsistent. Humans haven't found a way to impact it. We can only do temporary physical damage to the boards.
Magic! It is magic! Belmil is still displeased. Margaret moves into discussion. Her mood is rapidly declining as well.
Then what should we do? We shouldn't stay on the shore if the monsters could be coming towards us at any moment.
The guy closes his eyes and suddenly looks very worn down.
Staying in the center of the island is the safest option. However, there's the risk that we may not be able to reach the bridges when they do rise. Prowlers could have taken full control of the shore by then.
Hi, Cass. Oh. Oh, who opened the door? opened the... Yeah, it's raining outside. Who opened the doggy door? Oh, Cass, you are soaked. Yeah, you're soaked to the bone. Let me go take care of this real quick. Sorry. Hi. Oh, Blondie too?
Wow!
We can't sneak it. I had the headphones on. I heard it. But both of the dogs are absolutely soaked, so might as well just do this. Definitely don't have to wash my sheets tonight. I'm washing these sheets again. Alright. Hi, Cass. Oh, baby. Ah, get off me. Oh. Yes. That's not okay. Come here. Just a smidge too big for it. Alright, up. Come on. Trying to keep some wiggle room. Oh, hi there, Bruce. Wow, I wondered what went mud. You wanna know what the worst part is? I specifically closed that doggy door. Cass, come here. Is it too much? Do you not like it? Yeah, it's a little too small on you. Blondie's bigger, so that thing doesn't fit my dogs, and I got the extra large. Thanks, Twitch. Well, no one expects to have giant dogs, so what are you gonna do? I have to send a quick message to the roommates and be like, hey, whoever opened the dog door that I closed because it was raining, what's a way to say this in a non-bitchy way? Where I'm just like, it's like, hey, I had closed the door because it was raining hard. There is mud in our backyard. If the dogs get into it, they're gonna track mud through the whole house. So unless you're out there, monitoring them and being like, they come back in, you clean their paws, and then they're free to go do whatever. But it's still raining out there. Hey, you fucked up. Honestly, yeah. I think this is a bit cheekier. Whoever opened the doggy door too early, we got wet and muddy puppies now. I feel like that's good. And I put a laughing emoji.
Remaining here with our lanterns will ensure the prowlers cannot move freely.
They're not even my dogs. My brows involuntarily knit together. I don't like the sound of taking additional risks in an area that is already so dangerous, but our options are thin. I like it. Thank you. I was like, I'm trying to be like funny, but it's also like frustrating because I didn't know they were wet and they'd been sitting back there for a while. So it's like my sheets are wet and they're covered in mud and possibly dog shit because, they don't clean the backyard. So I'm just like, roommates.
If the prowlers come between us and you fail to make it to the bridges...
Just like the dogs, you rub their nose in it. Look at all this mud. Look at all this mud. Yeah, so. Bamil spits hatefully under his breath. Oh, I think that was me.
Of course you would.
Yeah, it's laundry day. Which is great, because I hate doing laundry. True, generosity is not something I would expect from the guide, but that is not the conversation we need to have at this moment. Yes, I have to do laundry. Exciting. The guide has made his decision, and we must make ours. Yeah, put it there.
If you were staying by the shore, perhaps I could be positioned somewhat further back from you, and then the others could stay further back still. That would keep us safer, without having any major gaps of darkness between us and the shore.
That's a good one.
Good suggestion, Kika.
I'd say that's likely our best option, and we don't have time to come up with any other way regardless.
Didn't they do that yesterday? Kinda, but it's like someone's on the shore, settled on the matter, three of us begin to move away from the guide, he pays little attention, instead silently fixing his eyes. Yeah, so it's like, we almost did that, but we were like close together. But this one's more of like, here's person, here's person, here's person. I take my place in the middle of the shore while Bemamil and Margaret hover closer to the island's core on the line between dirt and sand, because Margaret can't fight. So it's like similar, but now there's like even more distance. After getting a sense of where they are, I turn my gaze ahead. So that way it's like we can keep an eye on the bridge, and also for prowlers. At first I think I'm being fooled by the fog. There are several white dots playing along the edges of the water. Bring spare lights? We don't have any, that's it, we just have the 3. Dark globes begin to surface and I see them for what they are. Eyes. So many white, dribbling eyes, gleaming sharply against the pitch black bodies as the Nixie bob up and down. They surface and disappear in a loop, each time more sets of eyes closer, surveying us more intently. Then they cackle. The sound is atrocious, gurgling then turning high-pitched as they seem to take full stock of us. Yeah, we have a limited supply of lights. The lights in their eyes somehow seem brighter as the first of the Nixie dig their claws into the sand and begin dragging themselves upon the shore. I plant my feet firmer. Planty plant. And now Cass is just on my carpet. A shrill shriek pierces the air accompanied by a telltale hiss. Ah! I whip my head backwards toward the sound, only to be greeted by a cold black darkness. I cry out desperately into the void where Margaret and Bemelli stood. What happened to your lantern?
What happened?
There's silence, then the best sound possible. Margaret's voice replies, albeit shakily. You have more
There
light.
was a prowler in the woods. I didn't notice it until it was already too close to me. I dropped my lantern when I saw it. The light was enough to drive it away, but now it's gone.
Why did you
Shattered.
let Margaret hold the light? You would think that, Diggins, but I swerve my head back to make sure the shore is still clear before I sprint over to release him from the darkness with my own light. Exactly, why was Margaret holding the light? She's a scaredy cat. Give it to Bemil. Margaret stares down at the ground dejectedly when I arrive. Yeah, plus you can't even see. You don't have your glasses. Why were you holding the light? Bemil has his hand placed on her shoulder. Bemil, don't comfort her right now. She's in trouble.
I didn't see the thing either. The monster blended in far too well with the dark, crooked trees of this place.
Honestly, I like Dickens' plan. Set it on fire. He gives me a sad smile as I approach the two closer. Set the forest on fire.
We can make a small fire for light.
Oh my god. Margaret sniffles loudly. Okay, save your tears.
That may work for now, but what will we do once we're back on the bridges?
Burn it all. Burn it all. I like this idea.
We will manage.
We'll burn it all. I speak firmly, trying to reassure her. I can't even guess how effective the attempt was. Honestly, your shawl, branch, wrap, the oil from your lamp, bam, torch. Bella begins to gather dry twigs, stones, and grass to craft a fire with. Margaret moves to help him. Though she still looks terribly upset, I feel awful. It wasn't her fault. Ooh, I also have to give the dogs a bath now because they're covered in mud. We dig a few inches down in the sandy soil before making an edging with the rocks to stop the fire from giving us a repeat of last night. I layer the fuel quickly and light a match at the base of the pit. Nah, man. Set the whole island on fire. Definitely no Nixies will come now. Margaret strokes the fire with Bemamil feeding in twigs. The grass ignites easily and showers the air with enough light to keep anything else that may be lurking in the forest at bay. No, more fire. More fires. I release a discreet sigh. We're truly lucky no one was injured or lost during this ordeal. I keep that thought to myself, however. Hearing it would only make Margaret feel worse. God, we're almost there. We can do it.
You should go back to your position, Kika. It will all be for nothing if we can't make it onto the bridges in the first place.
Right.
I force myself to sound bold. I'm guessing this is where having a housekeeper would come in.
We're
super
going to
handy.
get through this.
Be like, housekeeper, what if the ruby's messed up? Can you please clean my sheets so by the time I go to bed, they're dry? Margaret attempts to smile at me and Bemil waves as I cautiously back up to my original position. What time is it? How long does laundry take? It's doable. I return my full focus to the shore. As we feared, this is becoming a pressing situation. More prowlers rose from the waters while my attention was on those two. What about the guy? That guy. He dead? The guide or the redhead? No, he fine. They've surrounded the guide on both sides. The only way to gain distance from them would be to delve further into the island, yet the guide shows no signs of giving up his position. Oh, he's... The young guy? Oh, we don't know. We don't know. We left him. No idea. He remains where he is, resolving to keep all the monsters near him in his sight. I grow more unnerved the longer I watch this. The guide seemed impervious to the dangers of Sinlos. This is the first case where I can't tell whether he will continue to be fine, as always, or not. It's a distressing notion. Yeah, save the guide, because without him, you can't navigate the rest of the bridges. These weird magic bridges. As they creep even closer, I can't stay silent any longer. Baby girl!
Your safety is most important. Consider retreating.
He doesn't face me, but replies.
I cannot do that. Nixie recognized signs of weakness. Backing away will only increase the odds of them attacking.
Oh, damn. He knows what's up. I grip my lantern tighter as I swallow hard. What can I do? Leave him be. He knows what he's doing. As if to answer my own question, a thought whispers into my mind, and I look down at the lantern in my hand. I could throw it. As long as I don't let it go too far down the shore, it doesn't seem plausible that a Nyx could take it. He knows what he's doing. Don't throw it. He knows what he's doing. You throw it, you're dead. Don't do it. Don't chuck it. But if I do lose the lantern, especially after Margaret lost hers only moments ago, then I'm just gonna watch. I can't act rashly here. The guide has managed through every situation we've been through, as well as countless others we did not bear witness to. I resolved to continue with what we planned and keep my position. Yeah, I agree with you, Kat. I was like, I'm not throwing it. Not throwing that. Without flinching, the guide keeps hold of our position on the waterline. I periodically switch between watching him, the others, and the rest of the shore. Watching everybody. Watching everybody. As I scan the forest, there's a stinging groan. Was that the guide? It can't be. I stand rigid in shock, a painful prickling sensation going down my back before whipping around to face the truth. Is it maybe the young man? Please be the young man that's groaning. And not the guide? He's crouched low on the ground, staring forcefully at a group of Nixie head-on. There is a whole other group of monsters rapidly crawling back into the water. You're literally the guide. You should know how to handle yourself. Maybe he's doing some Nixie dance. Are you good? I step forward with a shout, but he puts out one hand to halt me. I do not go further. Oh, I think we're fine. He's fine. He's got this. I and those creatures motionless watch for what he will do. What's going on? His fingers curl tightly around the upper half of his staff. With great effort, he begins to rise to his unstable feet. What happened? Did someone stab you? Did they roar? What happened? The moment he is fully upright, the guide aggressively swings his lantern at the encroaching Nixie. He catches them completely off guard, and they scatter to rejoin the rest in the black depths. Oh, he don't give a fudge. This guy's... he's like, fight me. My dad won't accept me. You shan't either. The guide crumples back into the sand unceremoniously. I can hear his ragged breaths as he regains his composure. I think one of them got him. He tugs at one side of his cloak, bringing it closer around himself. It covers up a dark, growing stain creeping through his right pant leg. Even while collapsed, he seems compelled to hide his fragility. Bruh, you're fine. But also... is that admirable or saddening? I do not know anymore. What if he does turn into one? How do Nixies work? The guide roughly pulls himself back onto his feet and forces himself to remain standing. Yeah, you can't show weakness in front of the Nixies. Otherwise, they'll be like, he's weak. That's how a Nixie sounds. The rest of us remain strong as well if we are to survive. Gripping my lantern, I watch over everything and everyone in sight vigilante. I think this would be slight vigilante. After an untold period of time, the water begins to stir. There's an unusual gurgling, a sound I never thought I would be this relieved to hear. Slowly, creakingly, the bridges make their nightly appearance. All right, Bevamil, you gotta bandage him and we gotta keep going. Maybe we'll carry him, you know? Bevamil, give him a piggyback ride and I'll bandage his leg as we're walking. Sinlos is an overwhelmingly cruel environment. This island had felt like a safe haven such a short time ago, but that has been twisted to the point where I am grateful for a chance to return to the maze, and we may not even reach that. Okay. Okay, so the guide knows this crazy-ass magic maze. Interesting. More Nixie are breaching the water and retching themselves onto the sand. The guide signals to all of us. Time to go!
We have to leave.
I love your voice. Thanks to his position on the shore, the guide is able to board the bridges without confrontation. For the rest of us, however, the Nixie begin to crowd the opening. It appears they want to get on themselves. Not on my watch. I'm gonna boop them. I got a sword. Just knock them in the water. We have desperately little time before we'll be cut off from the guide. I look to my lantern. Will this light alone be enough to cause them to disperse? It better.
Come on!
Margaret, you can't even see. Margaret's shout cuts straight through my thoughts. Hey man, out of sight, out of mind. Yeah, look at that. She's got a torch. She's advancing towards me, holding onto a heavy stick with the end set on fire as a makeshift torch. The sight is striking. Let's go, Margaret! Let's go!
It won't last long! We need to get through now!
Go, Margaret, go. Go, Margaret, go. You have a shawl, you could... She needs not say anymore. The three of us push our way forward. As we advance, Margaret relays her plan. Yeah, what's her plan?
We'll toss the branch when we get close. The smoke spewing off this thing is making it even harder to see than usual. So you tell me when it's time, Kika.
Huh? No, don't give me that responsibility.
I can do that.
No, I can't do that. That's... The shore approaches closer and closer, and every single one of the Nixie turn their attention towards our small group. Oh, god damn it. I have a lantern and I have a torch. I should be fine. Wait. The flames leap in the wind and singe her fingers. On instinct, she lets go of the source of her pain. Margaret! I thought you were gonna hold on to it longer. Margaret?
You all right?
Margaret!
I am.
You told me to wait! I waited! Margaret answers me, frustration apparent. The fire rapidly eats away at the branch on the ground until there isn't enough safe wood left to pick it up again. Margaret, you literally said it's my decision. I want one time. I just wanted one time. Well, she stares down at the lost makeshift torch. It's the same look as when she lost her lantern. Let's go. Let's go, Margaret. I hardened my face. Kika used harden.
I'll have to go on my own and ward them off. Once they move away, the two of you should follow behind me.
Oh my god. We're gonna die. Both of my companions look at me, filled with concern. I shake my head at them. Shit.
There's too much risk for you to come with me. I'm going now.
Oh my god. You have a sword. Stab him. I turn on my heels toward the Nixie. There's even more of them now. They drag themselves pitifully along the ground, reaching out their hands in our direction like beggars. Unfortunately, nothing can be done to help these creatures. Stab them in the eyes. Just stab them in the eyes. Maybe they'll eat each other if one of them seems weak. As I approach, they curl their bodies from the light of my lantern. None of them move to retreat, however. Start stabbing. Eyeing them wearily, I quickly jump forwards in the hopes of startling them. A few hiss and flail, pulling themselves into the water. One responds a different way. It returns the aggression by lashing out and knocks my light free. Kika? The lantern falls to the ground and blinks out. Ooh, Cass, you are so wet. Oh, you okay? That was your head. I gasp. You okay? You bumped your head. Before I can turn around, one of them pounces on my back, forcing me to the sand as well. I frantically call out to the others. I messed up?
Run! Get to the bridges!
Oh my god, Kika, no. Many more pile on. I dig my fingers in the loose granulars. It puts up no resistance as they begin to drag me closer to the shore. I think I'm about to die. There is shouting, but I'm not able to make out what the words are. As I feel the thick water begin to lap against my legs, I know in my soul that I will never escape. You have a sword. Pull it out, start stabbing. This is the end. Why aren't you stabbing? I'm not gonna... Yep. Achievement unlocked. Guard. Lake of Voices. Whip. I died. How far back was my save? It was pretty far. Alright, where's I'm gonna watch, and then, brrr. Now! After alerting Margaret, she gives her all to hurl the flame ahead of us while avoiding setting the bridge itself on fire. Let's see if this works. The monsters flee from the torch. A path is clear. We waste not one moment, sprinting towards the bridges. I forgot I could click. With the others near my side, I amble back into the maze. We don't stop until there's a considerable distance between us and the shore. It is there that we encounter the guide. Upon seeing his figure, I hide a sigh of relief. We haven't been left behind. Our arrival doesn't change the guide's empty expression. He doesn't say or do anything, instead allowing all of us to catch our breath. Benelli starts to laugh incredulously through uneven breaths.
Such recklessness. I can hardly believe it worked.
Margaret chimes in, equally as amazed and exhausted.
I don't know how we managed to do nothing wrong. That feels far more fitting for this journey.
It's almost like I didn't just die.
Yes, you could have burnt your fingertips off. Or perhaps the bridges could have gone up in flames.
Margaret looks at him curiously. Bamel gives her a wink.
That would have been the outcome if I was handling the torch, you think?
Margaret's lips quirk into a smirk.
Yes.
We treasure the moment of triumph for a little more before the guide ends his silence.
We need to start walking. We've already lost much time as it is.
Walk and talk. Walk and talk. Almost as soon as he finishes his statement, he stumbles, nearly falling back down. His hands slip down the shaft of his staff as he sinks to the ground. He gasps under his breath.
Are you all right? Is there anything we can do? I don't have much, but I could still clean and wrap it.
I take a few hurried steps closer. I reach my hands out towards him, which he curls away from like a barn cat. Meow! He turns his gaze up to me and shakes his
I
head.
tended to it myself when you were still on the shore.
While you were surrounded by Nixie. Moments tick by as I stare at him, growing even more nervous. As horrible as his injury is, the larger situation at play is direful. It is a weight bearing down on each of us, threatening to bring the entire group to its knees rather than only our lead. We can't stay here.
Able to walk?
Piggyback! Piggyback! He eyes his feet with gritted teeth and clenches his staff tighter. Piggyback!
Not like this.
Piggyback! A beat of quiet passes before he continues, his voice slightly ragged.
I have a way. It will be enough to get to the other side.
Shaking, he removes a hand from his staff and reaches into his cloak, searching for something. Drugs? Does he have drugs? I have little other choice but to watch as he searches his pockets. The panic that we thought was past starts creeping back in. He retrieves a small vial with a viscous liquid inside, swishing it slightly as he holds it up. I peer at it curiously.
Drinking this will numb the pain. I'll be able to ignore that my leg is injured for the time being.
Piggyback, and then you just hold the lantern out. Like a thing with a carrot. I analyze the vial hesitantly. I'm pensive as I mull over the possible other effects it could have. Something that potent would be a miracle drug if there was no downsides along with the positives.
Is that safe? It must cause drowsiness or have some kind of impact on you. Not to mention, pushing your leg so hard when it's in that state could...
I'm also gonna save real quick in case we die again. He regards me as his lip twists part way into a snarl. Arr.
My leg isn't broken. It will heal without issue once I'm able to treat it. In order for that to happen, however, I need to live.
Sass. I flinch slightly. He wouldn't usually snap at such a question, but the pain must be truly getting to him.
What about side effects? You didn't say what they were.
Oh my god, walk and talk! Bemil steps in closer to the guide, his question harsh enough to be a demand. Bemil's trust in the guide has steadily declined since the first night! With the way he's acting, I cannot ignore the sense that it may come to a head before the journey is over. The guide levels a deeply unimpressed look at Bemili. He then sighs, raising the bottle up so it's more visible. He swishes it almost impatiently.
It can slow reflexes and cloud the mind.
Piggyback! Immediately, Bemili's eyes widen incredulously. Margaret quietly gasps, bringing a hand to her mouth. The guide heaves another sigh through the pain, and it makes it sound more akin to a groan. He is still impatient with the group's delay as the time marches on.
I will only be taking half a dose. It won't ease all of the pain. However, it will reduce the odds that I will be notably impacted by any adverse effects.
Or piggyback.
I know how you feel about others coming close to you, but is that truly the best solution to a situation like this? You need to be clear-headed here.
Margaret looks at the bottle and then at him skeptically. Bemeli takes another heavy step forward. He meets the guide's eyes stonily.
No. You can't drink something like that. I'll carry you.
Let's go! Let's go! Oh my god, yeah, let's carry him. Bemil presses forward, encroaching on the guide's personal space. The guide visibly shrinks back again. However, he can't hobble much further away due to his injured leg.
That won't.
Oh my god, how are you carrying him, Bemil? Bridal? Traditional? Concert? Before the guide can put forth another word, Bemil brazenly snatches the bottle straight from his hand. Everyone is stunned to silence by Bemeli's action. Even the guide has trouble expressing any sort of emotion beyond furious disbelief. Bemil ignores all of our reactions and smiles triumphantly, holding the bottle like a trophy.
You have made it very clear that at the first inconvenience, you would leave us all for dead in the water. As you are now, that is impossible.
The guide narrows his eyes at Bemeli, who only gives him a taunting grin.
So, this isn't about any possible adverse effects. You want to leave me injured and immobile on purpose.
No! Bemeli shrugs, then returns to smirking almost cockedly. I would dispel that immediately.
If there were no side effects, I likely would have thought nothing of it. However, mentioning those risks triggered something in my mind. You've never done what's best for the group. You only choose the safe option for yourself. With that in mind, I can't exactly trust you when you tell us that the medicine is truly our one option. Now, even if carrying you means that you will be more at risk than otherwise, I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
How are we carrying him? Bemil chuckles deriviously and rolls his eyes while spinning the medicine vial between his fingers. It's gonna break. Just stop it.
I hope you're proud that I'm following your advised method of not considering others, guide.
Despite Bemil's sarcastic jab, the guide returns to his usual empty, deadpan expression and makes no attempt at rebuttal.
There, he accepts it. What of you?
Oh my god, yes, carry him. Bemil then turns to look at us curiously. Oh yes, very saucy. Margaret snorts slightly at the inquiry.
That stunt was so ill-advised, I never expected even you to attempt something like it. What if the guide had another bottle with him? We would have all been abandoned by now.
Bemil pulls a mischievous smirk.
I'd have taken that bottle too.
Oh my god. Margaret shakes her head at his response. However, she doesn't seem too upset over this. She seems more at ease than she did for some time. There are still monsters around, can we? We're on a magic bridge. Bemil seems rather pleased by the reactions thus far, grinning widely at us. We're on a magic bridge that sinks and rises as it pleases during the night. Let's go.
If anyone is worried about my ability to carry the guide for the rest of the night, you shouldn't be. Rest assured, a willowy man like the guide won't slow me down whatsoever.
Did you just call him Willery? He puffs his chest out proudly. Margaret can't suppress the laugh that bubbles up from her chest. She waves off Bemil's boasting with a silly grin on her face.
You are an absolute buffoon.
Oh my god, stop. Bemeli faces me expectantly. The guide also levels a steely gaze in my direction. We may be having a bit of fun getting the upper hand on the guide for a change, but if we don't go back now, we never will. Though, do we truly need to? All that matters is reaching the shore safely. What really is for the best is this situation. Honestly, carry his ass. Bemeli's grin widens ecstatically at my lack of resistance because we have two lanterns. Here's my thinking. We have two lanterns. Bemil has guide, lantern. Me and Margaret, lantern. And that's it, because we only have two. That's what I'm thinking. Versus trying to hobble three. I feel nervous turning my insides jittery as I think over doing something so drastic. No matter the fear, this has to be done. Even if the guide can be trusted to show us the correct path, he is not reliable when it comes to anything else. If we let him do as he wishes, it's very possible that at some point during this night, he will leave us to die. I don't think so.
I believe you are capable of carrying the guide to the other side. That seems like the least risky option we have for the group at large.
Bemil lets out a small, triumphant laugh and tosses the vial over to me. I catch it and quickly tuck it away in my pocket. I'll return it to its rightful owner once we've made it to the shore. Bemil steps back up to the guide's side, who still shrinks slightly beneath him. The guide narrows his eyes as Bemil grows near.
Fret not. I will take proper care to lift you. This isn't the first time I've carried an injured traveling partner. I'll have to hoist you over my shoulder since we've still got a ways to go.
He's doing
I
Kidnapped
ask
Maiden.
that you don't make too much of a fuss about it.
He's doing Kidnapped Maiden. Oh, he's doing the Kidnapped Maiden route. Okay, I didn't even think about that option. The guide stares at him plainly.
I'm hardly in a position to resist. You've taken away my ability to do anything but be dependent on you and your decisions.
Oh my god, I am so sorry.
Even though this path was only taken because I am not someone you care for rather than true pragmatism, it is a better mindset to have on these bridges than how you've acted thus far.
Okay. Bemil snorts out a sarcastic laugh.
Thank you for your approval.
He bends down and grabs the guide, lifting him over his shoulders. Bemeli is careful not to bump the guide's legs. He still winces in pain, clenching his staff tightly as he jostles back and forth. However, the arrangement is quickly settled, and Bemeli is ready to begin walking with the guide in tow. Margaret has a hand over her mouth, looking like she can't decide whether to laugh or weep at the state of our
I
journey.
can scarcely believe that this is the solution we've come to. With the way the guide acts, though, I suppose that I shouldn't be too surprised people are willing to turn on him this way.
Okay, don't need to be rude, Margaret, alright? He was abandoned by his dad his whole life, and this is his job. Let him be salty.
Continue down this bridge. We cannot remain here any longer.
Like, the amount of people he's probably seen die for not listening to him, let him be salty. Bellamil gives a nod and starts to walk across the soggy boards as the new head of the group. We walk along the bridges together in the stillness. The guide's occasional instruction of what paths to take is the only conversation that reverbs in the night. Our step echoes throughout the bridge, and I'm more acutely aware of just how many paths there are spread across the lake than ever. Question. Over the shoulder. Is he doing like this, like Kidnapped Maiden? Or is he doing fireman carry over the shoulder? Because how is the guide watching? Because if he has him over the shoulder, you know, here's his butt, and the guide is facing this way, does the guide just, like, awkwardly try to look, or does he, like, does Bellamil just turn around and have him direct? Like, how is he holding him? Because I'm like, if he holds him, like, fireman style, then I can see, you know, the guide kind of just, like, laying across his shoulders and, like, having the same direction and holding the lantern, but I'm like, I'm trying to visualize this. And I'm like, that. Even the voices of the lake are quiet, but it's no consolation, for in their place is the otherworldly squishing sounds of the prowlers contorting their aquatic forms across the boards. It's impossible to tell exactly where they're coming from. The sound seems to echo in every direction at once. All I know is that it's too close for comfort. I do my best to ignore the feeling, but the sound is still fill me with a constant lingering dread. We cross a long path and come across a strange sight. It's a bridge which curves in and becomes more narrow in the middle than usual. Eyeing the dubious bridge wearily, I grow nervous at the idea of getting that close to the edge. Bemil's pace slows before coming to a stop directly in front of the foreign way. For once, he looks to the guide for this matter. The guide appraises the bridge, looking intensely down the path ahead.
Normally, it would be possible to cross a narrow bridge if one is careful with how they step. We can't continue as we are. Our combined weight is too much.
Now give him the medicine.
Is there another path?
Give him the medicine.
This is our path.
Bemil's eyes widen the explanation before gritting his teeth and speaking with a tone coated with suspicion.
So, you knew from the start we'd reach a point where putting you down was the only option.
Bemeli. The guide silences confirmation enough. He scolds deriviously, then purposefully strides forward, planting his feet on the mouth of the narrow bridge.
Unfortunately, that plan isn't going to work. I may not look the part, but I'm quite light on my feet.
Give him the medicine.
If this is our path, then prepare to cross it with me.
No. Because also, yes, I'll help with the pain, but the wooziness will take time. We just need to get through this narrow part, right? Give him the medicine, get through the narrow part. Once you're out of the narrow, pick his ass back up. The guide still does not speak. He looks completely unfettered. Bemeli does not take kindly to the guide's dismissiveness. He lifts his boot for a second time, stretching out ahead of his body and threatening to move even further down the narrow way. Bemeli is bluffing. Even he isn't reckless enough to cross that bridge holding another person, but I can see why he'd go this far. The guide will not open up easily. I know without a doubt, but Melly will be careful, and he won't waste this opportunity to find a better way for all of us. I need to do what I can to make certain the guide doesn't call his bluff.
Please, you have to try to think of another way. There are so many branches. At least one other must be able to take us to the shore. I worry the worst will occur if this continues.
The guide waits an agonizing moment more.
There is another path. It is longer, however, and prowlers are a far more common sight.
No. I'm gonna save real quick. But Melly immediately lets out a bark of laughter. He's feeling awfully validated in his moment. It seems the guide had intended to keep information from us if he could get away with it. I shake my head, the guide's warning. We can't allow him to move freely now. Not after learning that. No, I'd let him move freely.
It will still be more manageable than this bridge.
No, it won't. Margaret stares on as though she can hardly believe what's happening before her. Still, she remains quiet. Give him the medicine. Or don't give him the medicine and have him hobble the narrow path. Despite the guide's initial opinion, he sighs.
Go back a small ways. You will find a branch heading west. Take it.
More prowlers? No. With a satisfied grin, Bamelli readjusts the guide on his shoulders and moves to be the head of the party again, leading the way back. No! I don't even get the option to choose? Right? Maybe he lives. We trek through where we came along the way, tries to make light conversation. He's recounting the battle in which I earned my title. The guide has his focus elsewhere. It is doubtful he's hearing a word Bamelli says. Margaret seems engaged by the tale at the very least. As he ends the story, he turns to me and smiles brightly.
Because of Kika's status, she has the option to choose which missions to take rather than have to do whatever she is told. Despite that, she accepts each task assigned to her. Our entire village is awfully proud to have her.
I'm hoping, Kat. I'm hoping he just comes out swinging. I smile lightly at the excessive praise Bamelli is happy to put on me.
You are always much too kind. Every guard does what's asked of them. I am no different from them. Or you, for that matter.
Chuckles airily at my words.
If there was nothing to admire about you, then I wouldn't do so. But the more I learn of who you are, the more I know for certain that I'm right about what I say.
Oh my god, he's laying on thick. Right? Maybe get out of mortal danger first, then flirt? I feel myself fluster a bit under all the flattery. Bamelli has always had a natural camaraderie with the guards, only now have I started to realize he has made an effort to be extra kind to me all this time. I look back at him, now spinning another riveting tale about my heroics, and I'm struck by how much of a thoughtful man Bamelli is. Get out of danger first. He seems completely dedicated to making sure I'm surrounded by pleasance, even in dark times such as these. Pleasance? Later on our path weaving through the labyrinth of boards, Bamelli becomes uncharacteristically quiet. I look over to see that his breathing is heavy. Carrying the guide is starting to take its toll. I feel the urge to say something. However, I bite my tongue. That would only give the guide a reason to demand his medicine, and that's a situation neither Bamelli or I want. Take a break and throw your sheets in the wash. In a minute. How much is gonna... It's like all the sheets too. But we're so close to the end. That's what I'm saying. We're so close to the end. Like, how much more we got? I'll let you guys read this while I look. Oh, the guide is slipping. Because they say it's 2 hours long. Oh, somebody did this in an hour. Damn. Oh, is it not on auto? Here we go. Jostled. Yeah, someone said they did this in an hour.
I hope you aren't falling asleep up there. You've got to stay on your toes, even if you aren't walking on them. You're leading the way.
How many endings are there? perhaps its annoyance.
Why are you so eager to die?
Love you too, buddy.
I'm not sure where you got an idea like that from. I've already explained that I'm doing this precisely so we won't die. Preventing you from leaving us to those monsters is worth a little added weight.
Letting me lead uninterrupted means there was a chance I could leave you behind, yes. However, that was a moderate risk compared to the enormous one you are taking right now by carrying another person. It is not you who benefited from this.
Perks my eyebrow at the guide.
The risk was lowered then. Good to have a confirmation on that.
That's one more thought. Okay.
A heroic end isn't something to strive for. It is a waste.
Shakes his head.
There have to be those who are willing to work for more than themselves. If there aren't, then it won't be possible to build something greater than just a single person.
Yeah. Oh. Well, that's not good. Trying to see how close we are to an ending. Without, like, accidentally catching a spoiler. So true. Oh, let me make sure. Where's my mouse? Okay. For the next squelching sound? Oh god. I think we're relatively close, actually. Like, we might be 10 minutes away. Granted, this person is doing this, but... like, they're aggressively tapping. Like, they're like, click, click, click,
Go
click,
down
click.
that path.
Feebly towards another branch with a hand that's even paler than usual. Nods and walks down the crossroad chosen by the guide. He has been given directions more frequently, and Bameli is following them without hesitation. The prowlers grow louder, and now in addition to the squishing sounds, chattering in the lake begins to bubble up. It's beginning to feel as though we're completely surrounded. Tensions are high, and the situation's growing hectic. Margaret becomes more frantic with each step. Bameli is having troubles keeping collected, and I'm trying to see everywhere at once at the sounds of the Nixie rising from the lake swiftly surrounds us. Eventually, regardless of his best efforts, Bameli has to stop to catch his breath. He inhales heavily, heaving gasp after gasp as sweat drips from his forehead.
We cannot stay here. We'll be trapped by prowlers.
Ooh, I like that. That's a fun thought too, Kat. Through ragged breaths, Bameli quips back at the
Unless
guide.
you've lost the ability to give directions, that's not going to happen.
Give him the medicine. He starts to trudge on the path again with a heavy, hard-hitting steps. Margaret looks at Bameli with concern, bringing her hands towards him half-heartedly as she debates over how to help. I debate with myself over whether I should say something or not. I could help, but that might be better safe for when we're out of such a dicey situation. We don't have any time to waste here. Let me carry him.
You can hold onto my lantern and I will take the guide. I can't manage for as long as you have. However, that would be better than pushing yourself to the limit.
I'm taking him. I give him a withering look, but Melly returns my gaze, clearly conflicted. After a moment, he releases a sigh. But Melly knows that the weight of this task isn't his alone. He cracks a small smile at me.
I would appreciate that. The two of us make for a much better pair than he and I. Does our guide agree with that assessment?
The guide gives us no answer and simply turns away. I smile awkwardly back at the both of them. Bameli places our injured lead down. I walk closer and offer my lantern to Bameli. He puts his hand over mine instead. It rests there, on top of a pile, with myself, and the lantern handle underneath momentarily. His fingers are trembling. Yeah, dude, he's tired. After the brief gesture of affection, he takes the lantern with care. He then backs up with an encouraging grin on his face. I move to the guide and nod at him.
I will help you now.
How am I traditional style? The guide doesn't resist and makes no complaints over the switch. He accepts his fate as an inevitability. I pull on the man's lanky limbs to hoist him up onto my shoulders. The guide makes a few murmuring sounds of discomfort that quickly passes as he settles again. Hey, I think we're firemen carrying. I can see Bameli's already breathing easier now that the load has been taken off his back.
We need to get out of here.
I know. There's no disagreement, with each of us being likewise eager to leave this place. There are still swarms of prowlers all over. The guide points an arm over my shoulder.
That branch.
Thanks, buddy. We walk at a brisk pace down a new bridge. After what feels like an endless creepy nightmare, the lake grows quiet again. We are finally left alone once more. I think I'm carrying him like this, because he's on my shoulders. I don't think I'm doing a concert carry. But honestly, if it's not this and it's not a fireman carry, I don't know how else I'm carrying him, because he's able to point an arm over my shoulder. So I think I'm fireman carrying him. Unless I'm traditional carrying him. Our group stops to breathe, still reeling from how close we came to the edge. I'll keep going. As if to mock our attempts to feel calm, the light of the sun starts to peek through the mist. We're running out of time. It shakes me to think this coming light is the true reason we were freed from the prowlers. I steel myself for the answer to the question I'm about to ask.
Is the shore close?
No.
We will have to run.
Oh my god! I swallow down my dry throat. The weight of the guide feels that much more overwhelming now. We're still ragged with exhaustion from the trial we only just survived. However, I stand firm to address them. I will not let anything drag us down.
We're almost there. We are going to make it.
God, I hope so. Smiles boldly at my words. Margaret nods a little shakingly, yet she also seems determined to not be left behind. I readjust the guide and tighten my grip on him. Then I begin to sprint down the bridge. As we run a long stretch, the faint silhouette of land comes into view. I nearly can't believe it that it's there when I see it. Oh my god, we're almost there. I ignore the pounding, aching feeling in my legs and pump them as hard as I can, focusing on the clear goal in the distance. We race against time as the sun rises even higher. Nearly all the darkness has faded away. Even so, we don't stop. We keep pushing! The guide abruptly demands a change in direction. I start to take a sharp turn to the left when the added weight of his body causes me to tilt. Oh god. Balance! No! I clicked it. I did click it. Let it play. Let's see what happens. We fall over the side of the murky frigid waters. Below together, I hit the water hard, and the icy chill immediately takes effect on my skin. The guy is in the water with me. He will never be able to swim in the state he's in. I desperately reach out for him in the dark, opaque water. Before I can grasp him, something else takes a hold of me. I struggle against the creature, but it only drags me further down. My vision grows darker and darker. I can't tell whether I'm going lower or losing consciousness. I am engulfed in a complete void. I hit it. I swear I hit it. I swear. All right. We're so close.
There is another path.
Oh no. No. What did I say? Nope. No.
There is another path.
I selected the wrong answer. I carry.
The melee.
I carry.
Hold on.
I carry. Balance. I halt my steps and manage to keep myself from wobbling too much. Drama. But Male appears right at my side. His face is full of fear. I cannot blame him. That was a far closer call than I would have liked. A fragile smile breaks out past all the concern. He addresses the guide, who is still stubbornly clinging to my back. Oh, it's traditional carry. I think we're doing traditional carry.
We're close enough to the end, I think. If Kika gives the medicine back, would you be able to manage the rest of the walk on your own?
Are you asking this as we're running?
There isn't time for it to take effect.
Yeah. I try to steady my shaking legs. I've carried him far longer than I've ever needed to lift another person before, but it has to be done. We can't leave him here.
Well then, might I help you with that dead weight? I'll take one arm and you can keep the other.
Oh my god, you're amazing. I lift up my eyes to meet his. They shine confidently. But Melly is a good man. Involving another person may be quite a risk, yet at this point, I feel it'll be worth it. Between the two of us, we should have the strength to go on.
Yes. Thank you.
We gotta keep running. I slide the guy down one side to make it easier for Bameli to take hold. He takes position as the final part of a chain connecting all three of us. The guide's only contribution is a nearly inaudible sigh I only catch because his face is so close to my ear. Bameli and I nod knowingly at one another. Then we begin to run, fighting against the sunrise and our own exhaustion. Where's Margaret in all this? Three of us on our feet continue running as hard as we can until the dock draws near. Margaret can't see. Can she? Is she okay? And we finally make it to the shore. Yay! Where's Margaret? I nearly vault my body as far away from the shoreline as possible before completely collapsing onto the sand. The guide lets loose a deeply pained groan as he ends up being brought to the ground with me. He still takes the opportunity to graciously untangle himself from my hold. I said ungraciously. Well, graciously. When I regain even the smallest modicum of strength, I dive my hand into one of my pouches and fetch the medicine we took from him. I offer the vial to the guide. He stares at it for a moment, then at me. He silently accepts it. I look at him with my thoughts mixed. Should I apologize? Even if this part of the journey everyone was spared, the guide still suffered from our actions. While I ponder over what to do, the guide doesn't show the same lack of surety. He disregards my glances and downs the vial completely. His eyes slammed closed. Anything said to him would be unwanted, regardless of what it was. That much is clear. Assuming that he would prefer to finally have his own space returned, I push myself away. My joints creak, still burning from how much exertion they were forced to endure moments ago. The events that just unfolded flashed before me. Just again, I ask, where is Margaret? Suddenly, I feel myself being the one lifted. It's Bameli who holds me close to his chest. I hear him quietly sniffling above me. Oh my god, stop! Achievement unlocked, loyalty! I relax into Bameli's embrace while wrapping my arms around his neck. Hot tears brim in the corner of my eyes and I allow them to fall freely. Through this great emotion, he speaks quietly, more to himself than anyone else.
Thank God.
Oh my god, stop! The small statement makes it fully sink in that we reached the shore. We actually made it after everything. We're safe. Also, I just noticed your embroidering. I'm so overjoyed that he is here, that the both of us made it together. Margaret? We stay like this as long as his worn state can manage. Time to make up, cat. Even after placing me down, he never strays far. Yeah, trauma. We just went through a lot of trauma together, and we've kind of like made ourselves official. There is movement from the corner of my eye, and I notice that the guide is standing again. It's almost strange to see him behaving so normally, so distantly after what we went through. He draws near to us, his cloak swaying in the morning wind with each step he takes.
It is time to leave this place. There is nothing left for you here.
Where is Margaret? Upon being dressed by him, I rise to my feet. He has a calm look on his face, though there is force behind his serenity. I open my mouth in an attempt to speak, however I quickly realize I still have little idea of what to say. He is untrustworthy. But in the end, we only were able to cross because of him. And then the fog is removed from my thoughts. After everything that has happened, it becomes clear. I hardened my face to match his serious disposition. There is something he is certainly right of. This lake isn't a place to linger. Why is the door open? Going round and round in circles will never help. We cannot submit our lives or our minds to sin loss. What I must do if I truly want to defend others is to keep them from coming here at all. Oh, excuse me. When I return to my village, I intend to make that information acutely known to our elder. For that to happen, we must leave.
Goodbye.
Yeah, we're going the long way. We're going the 4 days around. His eyes narrow as he looks over me. I begin to feel uncomfortable under his scrutiny, but for a moment, I could swear I noticed him smiling slightly. However, it could easily be a trick of the morning sun. Nah, he's smiling. Am I going crazy? You guys heard the dog shake too, right? I swear I heard the dog shake and I look and they're not even here. But Melly smirks lightly to himself. Yeah, like, I heard it. That's why I looked, but like, not there, not there, not there. Moving on. Refusing to truly acknowledge the guide, I make no complaints. This is likely for the best. Margaret steps over to us. She's alive, and regards the guide with a pointed expression.
This will be goodbye for us as well. I appreciate the opportunity you've graced me with. However, I won't be returning here.
Oh, we like lost most of our makeup. Probably from all the stress and the wiping. The guide offers no reaction to her statement. In fact, he says nothing at all. Instead, he simply turns on his heel and leaves us alone once more. We make no attempt to stop him, watching him silently as he disappears into the landscape. It is painfully clear that no matter how meaningful this is for us, it only another day in his life. It only another day in his life. It's only. Once the guide fully departs, Margaret frowns harshly.
This all seems so terribly sad.
We're alive. I regard the lake again. I'm regarding it. It is isolated and desolate, the mist still covering the surface like a suffocating rag. My thoughts darken as memories of Lou come flooding in. Lou? A warm, wide hand drapes over my shoulder and gives it a firm squeeze. I peer up to see Bamelli. He holds me in his gaze sympathetically. Who's Lou?
We don't have to put all of this behind us. Especially not right at this moment.
No, who's Lou? I stare at him silently, tongue-tied at his words. He gives me a comforting smile. The smile lingers for a bit before his expression promptly hardens.
I'm not sure I'm the same coming off the bridges as I was stepping onto them. It's something I'll always have to live with.
Was Lou the redhead?
All right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's what we're gonna process this trauma together, but was Lou the redhead? I stare at him tenderly. I can't do tender.
Yes, it is.
This won't be the last time we face situations where lives are on the line. I understand the difficult decisions will need to be made. Still, I am not going to let anyone abandon someone else, if I can help it. I can always look for another way.
Oops, somebody commented on a YouTube video.
After all, it's impossible that I could ever be the most logical person in the room. Someone else will stop too much recklessness from happening. And then, occasionally, my focus on finding a solution to help all instead of accepting a painful reality will make a difference.
I feel tears incoming and men just smile for him, heartbroken and joyful.
I think that's wonderful. And very much like you.
Oh my god, we have so much work to do. He smiles happily, though, then takes on a bashful look.
Let me add that I don't want you to feel as though you personally need to make up for my idealism. I'm not your responsibility, and I'd like for you to be happy and honest about how you feel, and...
He started rambling, so I cut him off before he can work himself up further.
Emily, you have never been my responsibility. You're my partner, and you don't have to worry about me either. I understand. As a pair, I take pride in how one is strong where the other is weak.
Oh my god, yes. And then if you add a third person, then the weaknesses you guys have that you don't have a strength in, third person has. But Millie's eyes grow wet with tears of his own, and he grins ear to ear. Nina, I'm just saying, Kat, if you're really good at, let's say, painting, but you suck at puzzles, but your partner's great at puzzles, but sucks at painting, you're like, oh, great, we complement each other. But if both of you are awful at cooking, and here comes number 3 saying, I'm great at cooking, you'd be like, yo, come here. Come here. We can paint a puzzle. We got you. Nina added Polly to this game? Always. If I can sneak it in, you know I'm going to.
Kika, thank you.
Margaret, for real, you want in on this? We got you. I'm a guard. He's a guard. You cute. We vibed. Process trauma together. If anything, it could be a platonic throuple.
Thank you, too.
He wipes his damp eyes on his sleeve and chuckles self-consciously. Margaret, for real, you wanna?
I hope that this means I'll be allowed to keep sharing your company from now on.
Oh my god, stop, yes.
It seems I've gotten used to seeing you each day.
Oh my god, stop!
I would love nothing more.
Oh my god. A warm sensation hovers between us. It means so much that we found what we each were missing in one another.
It truly is time for us to leave this place.
You look so angry while you say that. I love it, Kika. But Melly stands a little taller.
That is music to my ears.
Margaret? Has Margaret just been watching this whole conversation? We turn around and walk away from the lake. Margaret notices and follows behind with no hesitation. I offer her a small smile, seeing her settle in step with me. Throbble. Without looking back or stopping, I close my eyes and whisper beneath my breath, soft as a falling leaf, to all those left behind within the lake of Sinlos. I offer one last reverent parting word.
Farewell.
That's horse. She's the fire of the pod. She's the fire of the pod. I hurried to Hemer as quickly as I could. That's the name of the village. I already failed to help another during my journey. I could not afford to fail the villagers. They were grateful to see me, for it was a desperate situation indeed. The urgency meant that my mind was occupied with other matters. I worked tirelessly to aid Hemer's own guards in forcing back the brigadiers. But during the moments of calm and when the sun went down, I would remember the lake. Bameli was of great help during the fight. His outwardly positive demeanor lifted the spirits of many around him, but I could see from the shadows in his eyes that he hadn't forgotten what we went through. Trauma. PTSD. We will work through it, but it will take years, probably. Because this is like medieval times. Rather than be paralyzed by it, he's pushing himself to be even stronger. I admire that about him, and I fully intend to support him the way he does for me. Oh my god. Margaret? After putting Sinlos behind her, Margaret explained where she was originally from, though she has no plans on returning. Despite leaving everything she knew, Margaret boldly looks towards the future. I respect her for her bravery, and I hope for nothing more than the best. Come join me. When receiving payments for his services, the guide must give a report of all those who both succeeded and failed to cross the lake. I was finally able to learn the name of the stranger we met on the bridges. Lou. Then how did you know his name during your little, my thoughts go to Lou? You didn't know it, but now you know it? As the guide predicted, he did not survive. He had requested to cross and been denied. He must have been truly desperate to attempt the crossing alone. I can only pray that those who cared for him will learn the truth of what happened. What up, guide? I have not heard nor seen the guide since then. He will remain obscured in that realm of fog and fear, a mysterious light off in the distance that is ever out of reach of the real world. As the task in Hemer comes to a close, I mentally prepare myself to return home. I'm all too aware of that things can never be as they were. What I know for certain is that my village elder must be told that no one is to cross Sinlos again. I've already told the Hemer elders the same. Not a single more person should have to experience what we did. Its darkness will remain with me for the rest of my days. Though so much was lost, I believe that our lessons will keep others from suffering the same way, and in the end, something will be gained. After we returned home, Bameli adopted a wolf dog named Dedrick. He did not enjoy being alone at night, so after what we witnessed on Sinlos, I could understand how he felt. I told him that I am there at any time if needed. He adopted doggy. Now he, along with Dedrick, regularly make themselves at home in my cabin. I would be lying if I said it did not bring me comfort having him here. We still spar together and are often partnered for missions, meaning we spend most days together. Everything is better with a dog. It is incredible to still find fulfillment in these small joys despite the pain and hardship. I will continue to do what I can to protect others as well as the life I've come to love. Ah, stop it. That's beautiful. Yay! What a happy ending. All right, now what the fudge with Lou? What the fudge with Lou? Let me read some of this. Oh, there's some interesting theories about who Lou is in the discussion boards. Some say he's already dead, that he is a Nyx. That's one of the theories. Because apparently, one of the endings, I'm just gonna say spoiler, is he kills the rest of the party. So I'm kind of glad we didn't pick him up. And apparently that's the only way to romance him. Well, it's like you get 2 achievements, or you have to get 2 achievements, the good ending and the bad ending, right? And then I guess you reload your save, and then I guess he murders them. So it's just you and him alone on the island forever. And I'm like, that doesn't sound great, but it's 4.5 hours, that's 5 games. I have to go do laundry. So with that, lovely humans, we will call it a day here today. But also, we will see who's currently on. Who is on that I can bother with my love and affection? We'll see. I see DK Express, Thomas, Persephone, Travik, and Daydreamer. Persephone is a World of Warcraft player, and I think she's been doing cleric since the game came out, and she's the one who like really helped educate me on like stuff and subs and bits and donations and all this other stuff. So I was like, maybe we go bother her. Yeah, because I'm still shy with Dan, because I'm like, I'm not worthy to be in his space. Not yet. There needs to be more time. There needs to be more time between us before I raid Dan. All right. Maybe I'll watch some World of Warcraft, you know. She's a cool person. She helped me out. She's smarts. But yeah, I have to go do laundry and edit these 5 games into 5 different YouTube videos. So thank you everyone for the biscuits, Grems, Sneaky Butt, and for the opals, Diggins. And I'll see y'all possibly tomorrow. I have a bunch of stuff going on. I'll see if I can squeeze you in. But Suzu is Massey. Bye-bye.